You can just keep eating, Mike. You barely talk, so it's fine. It's fine.
ASMR eating while we're...
I'm happy when you're eating salad. Okay?
Wait, is Mike eating greens? Leafy greens?
Yeah, he's got them solid greens. All right, no more lollygagging. You have a plane to catch. So, hello, welcome to Roast Mortem. It's the only show worth quoting on all your research papers. And Mike shoving his fucking face filled with French fries like the Irishman that he is.
I got ketchup everywhere.
Ah, here he is.
That might have been a pickle bite.
Sorry.
Right. My name is Tom.
I'm Travis.
I'm Mike.
And I'm
Yeah,
Connor.
pickle Mike over there.
Right, so today's
I'm
a
gonna push it
special
away.
day. Thank you. Yeah, put the mic away until you're done. You can join us in a bit.
Sorry.
Today's a special occasion. We're going to basically skip over how was your week. Now, I do want to say one thing. Connor here, as I mentioned on previous episodes, he'll be joining us because he's a research artist. And tonight he'll be flexing, but not only flexing his research abilities, but his reading abilities as Travis has to hit a plane.
Yeah.
Explain to
I
us
might-
why, Travis. What are you doing?
You, Travis?
Well, I'm going to be, next episode, it's going to be all the boys together. I'm going to New York. I'll be in little New York.
He's coming home.
That's right.
Yeah, coming home.
Send our boys home right now.
That's right. You shut up until you're done.
Yeah, bring our boys home.
Yeah, bringing our boys home.
So
But
no-
I escaped. I'm a refugee of Portland.
Yeah. Well, that is a war zone, so technically, come
Yeah,
on over.
yeah.
We'll take you. You're white enough. Without further ado, who's on the chopping block, Connor? Get into it.
Our chopping block body today is one Gaius Marius, also known as the third founder of Rome.
Oh, wow.
Wait, Mario Brothers is Rome?
Yeah, they're from Rome.
Shit.
Yeah.
Wait, is the second one Waluigi?
Well, it's actually his main rival. Is Sulla, and his first name is Lucius, so it's kind of like Marius and Lucius, Mario Luigi. We kind of get that vibe going.
That's good.
I didn't notice that until you pointed that out, but that's good.
Oh shit! Number one must be Bouncer.
I wish there was a Bowser, but not really.
Bronzer.
Oh, they're in Italy right now? I'm back.
We're in Italy.
Sorry.
Yeah, we're in Italy.
Rome's in Italy. If you yeah.
Well, I got location now.
So we got location. We're in Rome, in Italy. And this is, he's born in 157 BC.
Oh, good year.
So this is, Republican Rome, pre-Empire, but post their showdowns with Carthage. So Rome is the undisputed power in the Mediterranean at this time. There's no one else challenging them, really.
Okay.
And Marius is born into a pretty rich family, most likely of the equestrian class, in a town a little bit outside of Rome.
They were
And-
horses?
Yes, they were horses. So the
Oh.
equestrian class is basically like the Knights of Rome, and it's
Oh.
because they could afford a horse. That's
Oh,
Wait,
really
you
where
telling me?
Ah,
you telling me
yeah.
instead of the horse's head, it's a whole man's body
a whole
with a
body.
giant penis that's in the shape of a boot that extends out into the Mediterranean?
Yep.
Cool.
You got it.
Damn.
Nailed it again, Travis.
Yeah. So Marius would like to make it seem to everyone around that he was from a humble background. He started from nothing and rose his way to the top of the Roman hierarchy,
Yeah.
which
Sounds better.
in a way is kind of true because he's technically not like from an elite Roman family. But it's kind of like how billionaires nowadays will be like, I became a billionaire off hard work and I developed my app, but also that $200,000 loan for my parents helped.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And for
Yeah.
That helps, too.
you stupid Americans, it's very William Henry Harris.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Or yeah,
I'm in
or
the
like
dark on that one.
yeah. Elon Musk. Launch in the space
Eastern,
Musk.
Eastern
Elon
South
How
America,
he's like, dude, I just built the whole space. I learned about space. But it's like, no, your mom and dad had blood diamonds.
Yeah.
Oh,
Exactly.
yeah, that part, yeah.
It's like I did it all over just from the sweat of my own brow and $500,000 from mom and dad.
But did he invent PayPal, though?
He bought some guys who
Oh,
were...
I thought he did. Oh, wow. That's
He really hasn't done much.
He's trying to
Damn.
save the world by crushing
Mars.
black children. It's not good.
Damn it, Elon.
How do you think he uses the propulsion?
Good point.
It's all blood, sweat, and tears. And perhaps
mostly
some of
blood.
it's not his.
Well, thank God I didn't buy a Tesla.
Yeah, the next rocket is going to be called the Jefferson Davis X.
That will be fun.
Yeah, have a good trip.
No one wants it on Earth. Put in space.
So that's the kind of family that Marius is from. The well-off, but not considered cool by the political elite. And not much is really important or well known about his early life, except for a little legend about his teen years, where he and his father are roaming the grounds of their villa, and they come upon an eagle's nest. And this eagle's nest was rare because it had 7 baby chicks inside.
Oh.
Now, for those ornithologists out there, you know that eagles usually only have 1 or 2 chicks. So this is quite rare.
Yeah, I knew that. I thought it was a dozen, actually. I thought it was going the other way.
No.
Actually.
So this is going, they're way more than there should be. And so he and his dad talk about it, and they find the local seer, the local future sightseer.
Soothsayer.
And they say, this person's like, 7 chicks. This is a sign from Jupiter, the god, that your son, Gaius Marius, will become consul 7 times. Now, that sounds nice, but it sounds even crazier when you realize that no one in Rome is going to be consul more than like 2 or 3. It's crazy if you're consul twice. It's insane to be consul 3 times.
Right.
It never goes beyond that.
And he's like, son, that witch doesn't know shit. Let's go the other. I'm sure it's like, because you're going to be a race car driver.
Like, I'm going to be consul 7 times. You better believe it.
Unbelievable.
Do you think that same story transpired on like the L train? And Fred Trump was down there, and he's like, "You see that, son? See that rat with 8 babies on its back? You're meant to be president 8 times."
You know what? Probably not far from the truth.
And I'm going to say we fell short.
Yeah.
No, we got another one.
We got 7 more to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's going to turn in that like Richard Nixon head, like in Futurama. He'll just be a president forever.
Sure. Why not?
So Marius, at this time, he's coming into his age and, wants to branch out. He's got a couple of junior political positions in his tiny little town, and he does what any good Roman man will do and joins the military. This is the only path to real power in Rome.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say rape boys.
I'm sure that was like part of the job description for the Roman military at this point, but
yeah,
that was normal though, right?
That was just assumed.
Yeah, that's why I said it.
I'm
That's
joining
like,
the army. I'm raping little boys. Oh yeah, sure, whatever.
Rome.
That was like a thing of like passage, right? It was like you're becoming a man when I rape you.
That was more Greece than Rome.
All right, never mind. Take it.
I think it's more of like a power
Zwick.
move, No, Zwick, God damn it, that's a beautiful line.
Keep that in.
I mean, so he's I'm assuming he's not becoming a legionary because this man is a horse, so he's probably working in the supply lines.
Well, no,
Like,
he's a horse, so he's automatically an officer.
Wait,
an officer horse?
Yeah,
a
officer.
horse
yeah.
cock? Where are we going with this? Was this a huge dick or something?
He might have.
Yeah, Johnny Sins.
Hey,
That's what he looks like.
I'm jealous.
So he joins the legions of, at this time, the most famous Roman, Scipio Aemilianus. This is the grandson of the legendary Scipio Africanus, the guy who defeated Hannibal and conquered Carthage for Rome.
Yeah, he mashed that idiot that climbed over the mountains, dog. Who
That's
the fuck
exactly
gives a
right.
shit about fucking elephants? They're just tall dogs
Not
with long
Scipio
noses.
Africanus. He don't care.
That was life
Yeah.
back then. Yeah, do shit like that.
Yeah.
Just conquer shit.
So Aemilianus is in the midst of conquering tribal groups in Spain. And he brings Marius along as one of his officers, and Marius quickly distinguishes himself. He's a young guy, but showing off all these older guys. He's a real soldier's general. He takes plight. He takes a share of the plight with his men. He'll help dig trenches. He'll sit around the fire and eat with them. And
Good photo ops.
good photo ops. It's like, how like nowadays with some sports coaches, they're like, oh, he's a real player's coach. Like he really tries to. That's what Marius is as a general. He's
Gotcha.
like, let me get.
And
the
they're also
soldiers on my
Rome.
side.
Yeah, they're also Roman, so he would go into your tent and warm you up at night too.
Oh yeah. I'm sure
Yeah,
there's
it's cold
plenty of that
out
going
there.
on.
Courtesy.
They all had the skirts, right? They wore the skirt.
They got their togas on. They're
they're
chilling.
fucking. That's just cold out
Dude,
there.
just in Rome, wearing pants was seen as barbaric. Dude.
Really? Damn.
Yeah.
That's right.
Is that true, Tom?
I just heard it from Travis. I believe it though, because
Think about it. It's Italy. It's hot. Why would you want to wear pants?
This
Get
is
the
fine
free
denim I
breeze,
have
get it
on.
going.
I could imagine taking one of these guys and flipping them upside down and seeing all the goods and grapes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They
I mean, yeah.
they look like they would hang that way.
You know, it makes sense. It makes sense in Italy, but those masochists up in Scotland doing the same thing. I don't know about them. Wearing kilts in the fucking Scottish Highlands.
Whole different flavor. up there.
Yeah, high socks.
Yeah, very
Small nuts.
Maybe just hairier. Maybe just hairier dudes.
Yeah,
So
like Elmo.
Marius is serving in Spain, earning honors, showing his medal. And when the campaign is winding down, he's in a group at dinner with a lot of the officers, and Aemilianus is sitting next to him. And all the generals are like, Aemilianus, you're leaving the scene soon. You're getting older. Who can Rome look to for her leadership? And he looks around the table and he clasps Marius by the shoulder and says, "Perhaps here." So once again, the fate of destiny is weighing on Marius. He
Those
found those
eagles.
7 eagles, and now he's got the most powerful man in all of Rome basically saying, "This is the guy. This
Damn.
is who's next."
How drunk do you think he was in that moment?
Well, considering they don't drink water, I think they were drunk the whole time.
Good.
It's just they're probably a little higher level at this point because it's
Yeah.
dinner.
Right.
So,
More constant flowing.
yeah, more constant
booze.
flow. They're not too worried about fighting. So
You heard it here. You human shuttlecocks heard it here. I'm next.
yeah, this guy's got the stuff.
I like
Man,
him.
I
I've
wish
seen his
I had-
balls.
This guy
I
hangs
wish
out
I
at
had
fires.
7 birds.
Don't you? Wouldn't it be nice to have 7 eagles?
That'd be pretty sick.
Yeah.
I don't think I could eat 7 eggs. Did he eat the eggs? I forgot to ask.
Well, they were chicks. They're already hatched.
Oh, they were already hatched.
Should he
So
eat the
I'm-
chicks?
I'm gonna guess they gutted them and then studied their entrails because that's what the Romans did.
Right.
Augury,
Balut.
or maybe they let him go because it's Jupiter's. It's his
That was a
bird.
sign. It was supposed to be something
Jupiter's.
special.
These are stupid chicks.
But there's 7 of them.
Stupid 7.
Yeah, where's the mom? Where's the dad that's supposed to be guarding this nest?
I'm
Yeah.
about to be fucking consul. All right.
Well, not yet.
Or that
Still-
consul?
still
I'm right
early.
on that?
Yeah, yeah.
You're
Console,
right on
that's
that.
good.
Console,
All right,
that's-
Yeah, Mike's gonna grow up to be an Xbox.
Yeah.
I hope so.
All right. Well, for the sake of Delta, let's continue.
So he returns from Spain, with a little higher distinction, and this is when he enters politics. Now, Roman politics is basically indistinguishable from the army leadership. If you want to lead an army, you got to become a politician. If you want to be a politician, it's best to join the army. So he runs for various positions. At one point, he becomes tribune of the plebs, which is pretty. It's a low distinction but high power position, if that makes sense. So it was kind of looked down upon by the Senate, but it had a lot of power because you're defending the people.
Okay.
I see what you're saying.
And he had shaky instincts. So the 2 factions that dominate all of Roman Republican history are the Populares, who are the people, Populares, people,
Mhm.
and the Optimates, which literally means the best. And that's like the Senate, the landed gentry, the rich people.
Was
I'm
that-
going with
was that
those
word again?
guys.
Yeah, so
Was
where
that
are
word again?
those?
So the Optimates,
Optimates,
are like, it's basically most of the Senate. Scipio Aemilianus, his former mentor, is an Optimate. Also, in this period of Rome, everything is based off like a client-patron relationship. So, like, even to the lowliest slave, you're loyal to your patron, but then even the wealthiest have their patrons, and then they have their clients, and it's all about favors and stuff like that.
Right.
And he's tapped by the Metellis, so that's his faction that
Okay.
Marius is under.
Wait,
Okay.
don't they make like olives nowadays? Martinelli's olives?
Oh, I think you're right.
Martinelli's. No, that's a soft cider. Soft bubbling cider for children to drink on New
Whoa.
Year's Eve.
No, but I think Metelli is a different Italian food brand.
I don't know.
Yeah,
anymore.
no, they
Mozzarella.
make pickled eagle eggs.
That's the delicacy of pickled
Yeah.
eagle eggs.
Oh yeah, loose egg.
So Marius didn't really know which side to back, and from one issue to the next, he's flip flopping. In one issue, he's like back in the Populare cause, and the Populares are like, "This is our guy." And then the next issue, he's back on the Optimates, and no one really knows where he stands.
Oh, he's double dipping.
He's double dipping, but it's more like he's an idiot, and he's just kind of
Oh.
like, that sounds good, I'll do that. And everyone's like, but you were just on the other side. He's like, I don't really know what you're talking about.
He's a people pleaser.
People pleaser. That's
Yeah.
a great way of putting it. He's a people
Yeah.
pleaser.
I was gonna ask Connor, does he want to be represented as the elite, or does he want to be represented as like the populares?
He
People
wants to be
guy.
consul 7 times.
All
He
right.
doesn't give a shit what it takes to get there.
He's
But
on
in
his
order
way.
to get consul, right, you gotta fucking suck some high hanging fruit,
That's
right?
true. That's true. And the thing is, though, there are 2 consuls always. Rome, always afraid of kings, always afraid of one man having too much power.
Hmm.
So the top job is split into 2.
Okay.
So more often than not, you have one Populare consul, one Optimate consul, and Marius is trying to find this middle ground. So as this early political career is going, he's got his false starts. His Metelli benefactors aren't thrilled with him, but he's still doing well. And everyone knows he's still a great soldier. He secures position as a propraetor in further Spain. So he heads to Spain, but not before a charge of election fraud follows him.
Hold on.
Ooh.
Further Spain, is that just Portugal?
It's probably not even Portugal at this point. Further Spain is probably like anything that's Spain, like 10 miles inland, because that's how far the Romans. They're like, so it's like at this point, they had Cisalpine Gaul and like Transalpine Gaul, but they're still really close to each other because they haven't gone very far.
I rarely find myself in this situation, but I have no idea what you just said.
Yeah, you gotta watch out for those Gauls, dude. They're fucking hairy, pantsed people.
Basically,
The world
it's
hasn't
like Spain
been
is
claimed yet, Tom.
That's true. The world is
Yeah, like-
Open range still.
We're going to talk a lot about unclaimed worlds.
It's like
Yeah.
Texas was all of the Western. Wasn't
It's
Texas
like, how the
California?
Great Wide West,
Utah.
when America was
Yeah.
first settled, the Great West was like Ohio.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like-
no, you're right.
Further Spain at this point is Madrid, which is like smack dab in the middle of Spain.
Right.
I think
So a few episodes ago when we roasted Nero, that's like almost 200 years later, and they're
Yeah.
all the way up in Britain.
Right.
But right now, they're like Washington times, as you
Yeah.
said.
Still early.
Chilling.
Yeah.
Early. So he gets to Spain. Even though everyone said like he shouldn't have been there, the election that got him this position was almost definitely rigged, as most elections in Rome were. He was specifically charged with sneaking slaves into the voting line and having them vote for him.
this is why slaves shouldn't be allowed to vote.
You know what? Great point. Slaves should not be allowed to vote.
Yeah.
I wonder
Tom,
who snitched on them, though.
you just won a ticket aboard Elon Musk's Jefferson Davis X rocket ship.
I think I just entered the Alabama governorship electoral.
No, I think you became a member of the Alabama House of Representatives.
Right, I'm already there.
You're
That's
already.
I was already, yeah.
There's a bunch of white guys just standing up, clapping, slow clapping.
Yeah,
That's our man.
Yeah, when you said that, did a man with a hood like look down into your basement, to, like give you a thumbs up?
I'll wait for you guys to finish.
We got a Jewish guy from New York. Perfect.
He's one of the good ones.
I'll
yeah,
be
he's
your
one of the
Roy
good
Cohn,
ones.
babies. Give me a call.
So the good news for Marius, though, is that Roman officers and Roman politicians basically have total immunity while they're in office.
It's great.
So by the time he gets out of office, that's when he's got to worry about it. But for now, he heads to Spain, stops some local brigands, suppresses a couple of rambunctious tribes, and more importantly than anything, he takes control of a bunch of silver mines. So up until this point, Marius had the soldiering career in Spain where he did well, proved himself. Now he's got a pretty good political position, and now he's got a lot of money.
Fuck.
But the only thing he's missing is that family name,
Hey.
right.
because he's still one of like it's called the Novus Homum, the new men of Rome.
Right, and he's looking for the family name of Boyardee.
Yes, he's trying to find Mr. Boyardee, marry his daughter, and become one of the Boyardee clan.
I'm glad to find the origins.
You can put me in a can, sir.
Sir, I come to you to ask for your daughter's marriage because I love your ravioli so much.
All right, give me a few minutes. I got to just take the crust off the side of this pot, and then we'll talk about how you're getting in.
Room temperature.
A little weird Roman side note, but one of my favorite dishes, one of the most lucrative dishes in Rome was something called garum. And they find like jars and jars of this garum, and it's basically just fish juice.
Ew.
They just took a whole bunch of fishes and like put it into a fucking jar and left it out in the sun. It was like,
Why do you like
hell
that?
They're like, this is the good stuff.
Yeah, have you had it?
Yeah, why do you like what the
No, I'm just
fuck?
saying that like literally garum was like more expensive than fucking like gold in some situations.
Really? Just
Yeah.
nasty fish water? That's sitting in
Nasty
the
fish
sun?
water.
They had no potatoes,
Oh,
no
yeah, no
tomatoes.
good shit.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
if they had
yeah.
eaten a tomato at this point, they would have
That's
died.
crazy.
From too much flavor.
That's something new to me. The tomato thing. I thought that was like the staple of Italy was tomatoes and shit.
Italy is
Or
a
Rome,
poser
sorry.
nation.
Yeah, they didn't
Everyone
even
in
have
Italy.
noodles
Yeah.
until like the 1000s.
Fuck.
Chinese. It's all Chinese food and Native American food. And they mush it together and they go, Mama's
Culture.
been making it since last week.
Yeah, so Gaius is trying to take over the Boyardee empire that sells fish juice, canned
Yes.
fish juice.
He's
I'm
trying to get to the
following
canned,
you.
the canned fish juice empire.
Yes.
He strikes out on the canned fish juice empire, or maybe he didn't. I don't know what this family that he marries into does. But like I said, he amasses a nice fortune, returns to Rome, and he marries a woman named Julia Caesaris, also pronounced Julia Caesaris.
A
Oh.
little foreshadowing.
That is the aunt of one Julius Caesar.
Whoa.
He's Marius is 45. She is 16.
Vibes.
Classic, awful shit.
Ugh.
Why not?
Mike,
He's the.
Mike. He's the guy. Just so you know who he is, he's the guy who holds a record of completing the Rubik's cube because he crossed it real quick.
That's Julius Caesar. Cross the Rubik's cube.
Oh my God.
So now Marius he's got the trifecta. He's got the fame of being a great soldier. He's got the money
16-year-old.
from working in Spain, and now he's finally got the name. He's got the name of the Caesar family. So
That's old too. I didn't think they lived that long.
what?
45? That's pretty old.
Yeah. His career hasn't even started. He hasn't
Fuck.
become consul once.
They're also like, this is pre-medieval ages. When medieval times is when
They throw the medicine out. and all
that's when
shit.
that's when Catholicism came in and they stopped washing each other and the bubonic plague happened.
Okay,
So like
okay.
there was a dip.
A reset.
The Romans, the Greeks and Romans did live probably 60s, 70s was pretty normal.
They could live
no.
up into their 80s, dog. We've done
Right.
Romans that are in their 80s.
No, so this
I know. I'm just saying it's regular. Like someone dying in
thought it
this
was
time
irregular.
in their 50s would be tragic.
Yeah. So he's entering the prime of his life right around now. And as this is happening, there's little trouble brewing in North Africa,
Oh.
where the king of Numidia, a man named Jugurtha.
He sounds African.
Does Travis know what's coming? Sounds like it.
Oh, I mean, I just saw Jugurtha the other day. I was looking up hot BBWs, and Jugurtha was starring.
And oof.
Yeah. Jugurtha and lace.
Dummy thick.
Jugurtha Dummy Thick, king of Numidia, and one-time ally of Marius's mentor, Emilianus. He starts making trouble for the Romans. He should never have been king. He kind of finagled his way there, killing his half-brothers. I think he killed his dad, and a bunch of Italians and Roman allies who lived in the area on his way to becoming king. So the Roman Senate's like, hey, that's not that good. They send a couple of senators on a diplomatic mission to talk to him and maybe work it out. Those senators are bribed heavily, come back to Rome, and are like, no, he's great. You don't have to worry about him at all.
Hey, those are some cool Lamborghinis you guys got. How'd the talk go with that king?
Why are you driving a Ferrari LaFerrari all of a sudden?
We talked to the king and he's fine. He's really actually you're wrong.
Yeah.
So
You're
great
wrong.
guy. You're gonna
it
love
gets
him.
better because then the full Senate is like, that's bullshit. We did not agree to these terms, and they send a small Roman army, not huge, but they send a small Roman army, and they're like, go deal with Jugurtha. That small Roman army shows up, and he bribes them again, and they go, yep, you're good. See you later, and they take off back to Italy.
My God, how did all of you get Lamborghinis? There's 10,000 of you. How did you
I
all
didn't even
get
know they
Lamborghinis?
made that many.
He's
Yeah, they
cool,
come-
man. I don't know what to say.
They come back at marching, and instead of marching in a column, it's just a colump of
He gave us Lamborghinis.
Looks like the police from Dubai. They're like, oh, everything's fine here.
So either like just before this or like during this time, Jugurtha actually was in Rome. And when he left Rome, he's like, now there's a city for sale if only it can find a purchaser. So he was basically trying to buy his way
Damn.
to becoming the king of Rome. And he's on his way there. I mean, he bribed these senators to go away, he bribed the first Roman army sent to him. Now the Senate's like, all right, we got to stop him, send a bigger army. And this bigger army is routed and then forced to march under the yoke. Now, if you don't know what that means.
Yeah, the yoke.
The yoke is what is used to, it's like what tethers oxen to a plow or cow.
Oh.
And apparently, these are soldiers who murder each other with spears and swords. But the
Yeah.
worst possible thing that could happen to them was to live and have to march under the yoke. I don't know why.
It probably just sucks.
It's
traveling.
it's apparently
that
like the
probably
most
sucks ass.
humiliating thing that you can do to a Roman or any like contemporary soldier.
Really?
Is
Well,
force
and-
them to march under the yoke.
That's
dog
probably
leash.
painful, dog. You're just fucking marching like, oh no.
It's basically like your hands are tied behind your back and you just got to like do the limbo.
yeah.
And
they
then
expect
they're like,
you to
"Ah,
fight?"
You've been shamed.
They expect you to fight after that?
No. It's after you've lost.
After you've
You
lost.
march under the yoke and return
Okay,
disgraced.
Okay.
All right.
And
So,
that's almost worse than dying.
Yeah.
I
so
don't
they
really know
needed
why.
to go talk to Jugurtha. And if they failed on getting him under wraps,
Welcome
then
to
they would
this.
have to walk back home in these Chinese finger traps that you're talking
Well,
about.
no. The Romans wouldn't make. The Romans were like, go fight him and die. and then they lost and lived and had to march under the yoke, and somehow that's worse.
Oh, okay, all right. I missed part of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all very
Well,
like
dying is-
macho and
yeah.
like, honorable shit, and it's like, why is this so bad? But it was.
'Cause
Back when honor meant
Yeah,
something.
I was like, some shit like that.
So now this is the
Don't
straw
make
that
them
breaks
like
the back.
they used to, brother.
Amen, brother.
This is the straw that breaks the Senate's back. Now it's on. Now no more small forces, no more tiny armies.
Big guns.
We're electing a consul, and we're sending the weight of Rome to North Africa to teach this guy a lesson. So
I mean, it has to be pretty heavy because I mean we're going against Girth Boy here.
you're going against the
He
girth,
sounds thick.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
the jug of girth that this guy was.
Deep
So
pockets too.
I barely get my two hands around him.
Yeah.
he probably had a thick neck.
Oh, yeah, you're
yeah.
right.
So
Probably veiny too.
I like history.
Probably very veiny,
Yeah,
veiny
history's
neck. I would
a real
say.
veiny neck.
Now I know what I'm called. If I ever accidentally have a child, gonna be
Veiny
called
neck?
Old
Yeah.
Girthy. Girtha.
To
Old
quote,
Girth
the Professor Brothers, he probably had a huge cock of a voice that was all like, "What's up" and stuff.
Sounded just like that, probably too.
Could you imagine? My name's Jugurtha.
What's
Come on
up?
in.
Hi, I'm Jugurtha. Welcome to Numidia.
I
I've
see
got
you
money.
all are relatively poor. May I fliff one out on you?
Can I give you a Lamborghini? So the man who's chosen for the job is not Marius, because he's still a little young, but Metellus. And that, like I said, the Metelli, this is his patrons, these are his mentors. So Marius gets the job as legate, which is like right-hand man, first lieutenant.
Sure.
The most important,
Metellus!
Metellus, the second guy. Once again, Marius immediately proves he's a great soldier, a wonderful commander. The soldiers love him. Everyone loves him. He's the guy who helps you build the palisade. He digs the latrine ditch. He eats the chicken with you. He's eating
that
the gross
guy.
fish with all the
Still doing
soldiers.
Still doing it.
Yeah, he's still doing.
I
He's
love
like, this is my way.
He's the
Yeah, some guys just eating his ration of chicken, and he, old Gaius walks
Yeah.
up. He's like, "You want to have some old fish water on there, don't you?" And he's like, "Well, I'm good." He's like,
Gaius.
"Don't worry, this is like
You
fucking,
need that.
This is like $50 a drop, bro. You're gonna love it." "No, I'm good, man."
No, spread the wealth, spread the wealth.
Can you help me open my can of fish juice? I lost my can opener, guys.
Yeah, take my can of fish juice.
Can you squirt it in my mouth? My 16-year-old wife is not here. Oh, that's terrible.
Welcome
No,
to
that
Rome,
was
Mike.
great,
That
Mike.
was all right. I'll do it, but I'm gonna rape you after.
right on schedule.
So during this early stage of the Jugurthine War, which is what it's known as, just to give you that to chew on,
Thick one.
there is the Battle of Muthul, where the Romans are kind of disorganized as they're marching from in between a mountain pass, and they're just scattered. And Marius rallies a group of 2,000 Romans. He rescues Metellus, who is surrounded by Numidian forces, and he rallies the scattered Romans to victory.
What?
Oh yeah, and
Savage mode.
yeah, really, like 2,000 guys going up against like a group of 50,000 or so Numidians, and he's just like,
Sheesh.
"Fuck that, we're gonna win."
Dang.
Yeah.
In-game leader right there.
Oh yeah, big time
Yeah.
stuff.
Play the
Hard
game.
carry from Marius on this
Damn,
one.
sheesh.
Now this could have ended the war, but Jugurtha escaped. And that's something that's going to happen a lot. Jugurtha is like a cross between like Saddam Hussein, Geronimo, and Bin Laden, in that he just keeps escaping when everyone thinks they've got him surrounded.
Damn.
So-
Magician.
Yeah, I mean, you might have Jugurth, but as long as you're just soft, you'll be able to slip out.
He
Yeah.
could slip that girth into some tight crevices. Let me tell you.
I mean, you've seen the build of that Saddam Hussein. He was
Yeah.
always flaccid.
And you saw how tiny his little hole was. Like,
Oh,
he
yeah.
could also slip into some tight spots.
Exceptionally tiny.
Yeah.
So war could end it here, but it doesn't. And for the next year, there's no more of these large-scale battles anymore because Jugurtha knows he can't win those. So it's just these tiny little skirmishes and going from town to town to try and find him. And he's always getting away in the nick of time. And
Lucky.
it's just kind of dragging on.
Yeah.
And so, as all this is happening, Marius, who's good friends with the common soldier and the lower ranked officers, is basically going around saying Metellus is a fucking idiot. I could end this war tomorrow if I was in charge.
Oh, there you go.
So this is Metellus' right hand man saying, I'm better than him, and if you put me in charge, we're all out of here. We're back in Rome with Lamborghinis in a month.
Right.
I'm going with this guy.
And now he's got all the soldier support, too, because he's been sleeping with him, giving him nighttime tugs.
Giving them little tugs, giving them fish juice, all
Scary,
that.
Yeah.
Yes. You'd be like, it's me.
Welcome, Marius.
It's me. Can I come into your tent and spread fish juice on you? Woohoo! Yahoo!
Get over here.
So Marius is basically plotting to be voted consul so that he can become the commander of this army. Now, little background on Rome and the way consulships worked is like you only serve for a year. And when you became consul, if there was a war going on or a planned war, you would get command of that war. That's why you would run for consul. And then even if you don't finish the war during your year of consulship, normally the tradition is you keep that command until it's done, unless you fuck up.
All right.
Oh.
So Metellus, who, like any good Roman, is not going to run for re-election as consul. He knows, but he's understanding that, like, all right, well, either way, I'll still keep command here. But
I feel like we should adopt that because I would have just liked to seen George Bush just keep eating pretzels for 20 years.
Yeah.
it would have been like Bush was stuck in Kabul as like everything else continued.
Yeah, take that,
Hey,
the Reddit community, who's like, he paints dogs now. We like him. He's friends with Michelle Obama.
Hey,
He's
so
cute.
we've been here for 15 years. Can you believe it? I built a bowling alley in Kabul.
While I was over here, they invented a show called The Masked Singer. And I love it. I love that show, so I've been thinking about stepping down.
We taught all these Kurds how to perform Cats the musical.
Now, they eat cats here, so it's different. They think it's food. It's like the Sausage Party by Seth MacRogan.
So it's called Coyotes here.
We got to go back.
It's all garbage animals.
So Marius has made it. It's no secret now that Marius wants to be consul, and this is just a little time frame. This is for 107 BC. He wants to be voted consul, and also in Rome at this time, you couldn't run for an election if you were not in the city of Rome itself. So Marius has gone a time frame. He's like, I got to get back to Rome in time for the elections. And Metellus is dragging his feet. He doesn't really want to do it. Finally, he relents. He gives him a month notice and is like, fine, you can go back. You can run for consul. Kind of hoping that he gets waylaid along the way and doesn't make it back in time.
Oh.
But Metellus still believes, no matter what, I'll still be in command, even if Marius makes it and wins consulship, because the Senate, they like me. They'll keep me in charge.
Right. That whole thing we were just making, that George Bush show.
The George Bush joke. There you go.
Keep that in mind.
So Metellus finally has Jugurtha surrounded and is mere moments away from his final triumph. While back in Rome, Marius gets to run for consul. He wins handedly. He had a lot of favors to call in. He married into that powerful family. He's wealthy.
Yeah.
Everyone knows what he did at the Battle of Methul, so he's famous again.
And he's got those slaves that he put in front of the porta potties that were...
Yep. He's rigging elections just like any good Roman politician.
Yep.
Now, here's the big trickster part he does. He wins consulship. The Senate says, all right, you're the consul, but Metellus will keep command of Numidia. And Marius says, sure, fine. But a tribune of the plebs that was elected that year was a good friend of Marius. And the tribunes had this weird power. And that's why I said it's like low distinction, high power.
Mm-hmm.
The tribune just comes in, tells the Senate to fuck off. Marius is taking command.
Oh.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So he faced him. He went off and was just like, anything you want. Senate's like, good, that's in line. And then, bam, Tribune comes in.
Tribune comes in, cuts the line, basically. Metellus is fucking pissed. He was at his moment of glory, and it's being stripped away from him. So, but he's still traditional Roman, so he says he accepts it. He goes, okay, it's the letter of the law, even if it's not the spirit of the law. But also by the letter of the law, not the spirit of the law, these legions under my command are not yours, but mine, and I'm going to disband them and I'm going to set them loose of their service.
Oh.
So basically, a huge portion of the army that surrounded Jugurtha up and leaves for Italy.
Oh.
And Marius has to recruit his own army with fresh troops, and they're, not veterans. They're not
Yeah,
great.
yeah,
So
they're
he's
new to
got to
this
do it
shit.
all over from the beginning.
Oh, fuck.
That is crummy.
Right.
That sucks.
Hey, boys, I just built this bowling alley in Kabul. You guys want to play?
Yeah.
Well, those aren't Lamborghinis.
I guess I'll play.
The other guy's got Lamborghinis.
The other guy's got Lamborghinis, and he's building us 2 bowling alleys.
Well, he got bowling alley pizza. I like that. I like the way the grease gets in the grooves of the ball and makes it easier to bowl. Sorry.
Spot the fuck on.
I belong. I think I belong
It
down
lets
there.
it slide out easy. You
Yeah,
don't get your
it's-
finger stuck.
Mike,
And grease.
I couldn't have done that better if I tried.
Thank you.
At all.
I'm
I
good.
didn't try, but if I did,
That just flowed out of me. That
It's
was.
good.
I think that's past life. I was a bowling person.
Well, we
Good.
know that your favorite food is bowling alley food. You've said that on the
It's,
show.
it is. It is a different like the different kind of food.
Well, it's the smell from all the shoe disinfectant.
Yeah.
It kind of gets
Yeah.
in the
I
kitchen.
think it probably airs. It probably makes its way into the food.
That's why it tastes so
Mhm.
good.
I gotta start doing that.
I
gotta
like
start-
to eat next to the claw machine.
Ooh.
You're a sicko.
That's
where all the kids
I bring my own 7 eggs next to the claw machine.
Tom brings his own fish juice to the bowling alley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't like your greasy food. I have 7 hard-boiled eggs.
Shoved in a bag. Ugh.
So Marius, finally, he's got his legions, gets to North Africa, and this is important for the future. He appoints as the commander of his cavalry the quaestor that was elected that year, one Lucius Cornelius Sulla, the Luigi to his Mario.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
But
Luigi.
eventually become bitter rivals and hate each other.
Oh.
Well, you know,
Boys to men.
that's where Mario and Luigi are now.
Yeah,
So
that's
now
true.
they just smile for the camera.
Yeah.
yeah.
While
So,
Luigi
one of
fucks
them-
Peach behind the scenes. No one
Yeah,
likes
one of
this. At
one
all.
of them hunts
Sure.
ghosts. The other one takes mushrooms.
That's true. So
That's how it works, dude.
Yeah. Shout out to
you'd
Nintendo.
think the one
I
that
don't
would
know
be
if you
eating
guys...
mushrooms would start fighting ghosts, but it's not that way.
No,
They start
no,
fighting.
This is a man that
weird
walks
dinosaur
around.
Things.
Yeah, there's a man that walks around with a vacuum on his back looking for ghosts.
Looking for ghosts.
I seen that guy at Planet Fitness.
All right, so Marius gets there. He's got Sulla by his side. That's his right-hand man now. And after all the shit talking he'd done of Metellus' slow and steady strategy and the strategy of going from strategic position to strategic position and paying off enemies and turning them into allies, that Marius was like saying was terrible and that if he was in command, he'd win the war in a month. He copies Metellus' strategy to a T.
Nice.
He does the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Art of war, baby. Gotta know your enemy.
Does not change it at all. Slow
What?
and cautious, slow and steady, working his way.
Mike, you were on fire, and then you just said
Art of war, baby.
that has nothing to do with.
You have to know your enemy.
What was just
This is his enemy, right? They have
no?
rivalry.
He's knowing what was technically his ally. He's basically criticizing his ally. That's not his. No, he's going. I could do it better than my own ally. And then as soon as his ally is out, he just copies. It has nothing to do with the art
It's
of war.
It's kind of like how Obama
What?
was like, I'm going to get us out of these 2 forever wars that George Bush has dragged us into. And then immediately he's like, I'm just going to keep doing drone warfare.
Yeah,
Art of war, baby.
All right, new meaning to art of
Art of
war.
war.
Revising history. And roast mortem.
Anything involving war is just the art of war with you.
Yeah.
Well, isn't it the art of war if you're at war with someone?
Kind of.
Mike. It's very true.
This is Continue,
Mike,
Connor.
you say that again?
Sorry for derailing this. I'm sorry.
Son Mike. Son
Yes.
to Mike.
Connor, please keep reading before.
So Marius is art of warring his way through the Jugurthine War. And so he realizes that diplomacy is probably going to be the way to end this. So he opens negotiations with another North African king. This is King Bacchus of Mauritania, which is like Morocco.
Oh, nice. That's nice.
And this is also the Girth man's father-in-law.
oh,
Now,
So the Girth man, his father-in-law is the guy that drinks wine and lays around.
yeah,
on
is
a
like
bed.
the king of partying,
Bacchus.
Bacchus.
Yeah.
So Bacchus is sort of helping Jugurtha. He's kind of like Pakistan with the Taliban, where it's like we're not actually helping them, but we're also not hindering
we're kinda
them.
scared
Right.
of them a
But
little
we're also
bit.
not helping the people that hate them.
when we come over, when they come over and they ask to borrow our golf clubs, we say the garage is open.
Yeah.
We don't say yes or no. We just say the garage is open.
Yep.
Garage is open.
So
Yeah.
if you want to take the golf clubs, take them.
It's on you.
If you want to take the 30,000 mercenaries I got in there, take them.
Take them.
You need to hide in there from the Romans.
Yep.
To hide.
Turn that light off, though.
So
You
that's
leave.
how Bacchus is kind of. He's like, I don't know which way I should go because should he support the Romans? His people might revolt. Should he support his son-in-law? The Romans are probably going to slaughter him.
Even worse, it's his daughter.
It's his daughter.
Oh, yeah,
Daughter
it's
might
true.
go nuts.
So eventually what happens is Sulla is like, Marius, let me go. I have a good relationship with Bacchus. Let me go talk to him. I'll get him on our side. So Sulla and just a small group of people, maybe like a dozen or so, sneak their way into Bacchus's court, begin negotiations with Bacchus. And Bacchus, meanwhile, is still playing both sides. So he immediately is sending emissaries to Jugurtha, being like, I got Sulla here. What should I do? You want me to kill him? You want me to capture him?
Right.
He's also telling Sulla, he's like, I'm in contact with Jugurtha. Should I kill him? What should I do?
Double dipping.
They eventually arrange a meeting between Jugurtha and Bacchus. And some historians say that, it's possible up until the moment Bacchus didn't know which way he was going to go. So he lures Jugurtha into this clearing. Now it's decision time. Do I capture Jugurtha and hand him over to Sulla? Or do I take Sulla and hand him over to Jugurtha? He decides it's easier to fight maybe his people than the Romans. Captures Jugurtha, kills all Jugurtha's bodyguards, throws him in chains, hands him to Sulla. And Sulla ends the war with Jugurtha.
Damn.
Probably
Okay.
a smart move, dude. I wouldn't want to fuck with Roman men.
So, in basically a mirror situation of what happened with Marius and Metellus, the same thing happens with Marius and Sulla. This is the second in command, basically doing all the work that the first in command is getting the credit for.
Right. Okay. Well, that happens. You
Yeah.
get the promotion, and usually you suck at your job.
Yeah.
Moving as soon as you're boss, you put your feet up too much. Let those puppies offer a rest. But I gotta say, this Bacchus guy, he did the right thing because if he did the other move, there could have just been more endless war.
Oh, yeah.
He just ended
Yeah.
it. It's
He's
like
like, fuck it, it's over.
everyone's tired of this war. I'm tired of it.
Especially the Girth man.
Yeah.
He's old
Yeah.
at this point.
Just kill him.
So they will
get rid
kill
of this
Jugurtha
girth,
soon.
dude.
But so this is kind of where the rivalry between Sulla and Marius gets started because as they return to Rome as kind of heroes for having finally ended this forever war, which again is a very low level war. I saw one historian almost describe it as like, think Vietnam, where it's like low level casualties just consistently happening, no big battles, no real progress.
Right.
And then
Okay.
overnight, boom, it's done.
It's over, yeah.
It's over.
Right.
And
We're not talking about like Carthage and big ass
Yeah, this
armies and
that's what's about to come.
oh,
Because while all that is happening in North Africa, up in the Alps at this time, there is a nation on the move.
oh,
This isn't just an army. This isn't, a couple 100,000 soldiers. This is an entire nation of people, the Cimbri, moving south into Italy. No one really knows where the Cimbri are from. Some historians think like Denmark, some think parts of Russia, some are like, no, they're actually from Scandinavia.
oh. I can
But-
tell you, they're from Korea. So when you put cabbage and leave it out in the sun,
Oh, I think that's kimchi you're talking. Yeah, the kimchi.
Yeah.
No, this is the Cimbri. This is the cheese that you leave out in the sun.
Ah.
Soft cheese.
Exactly. So,
But they're probably. So, do we have any descriptions of them? Are they? So you mentioned Denmark. Are they like white boys?
white boys, pale. That's like a big thing that the Romans harp on. They're like, these guys are fucking white. Like, pale as shit, blonde hair, blue eyes, tattoos, animal skin
Hey,
clothing.
you know who would have liked those guys? Hitler.
Hitler
Yeah.
would have fucking loved these guys.
Oh yeah, it sounds like
Oh
what
my
he was
God.
into.
He would have loved these guys.
He was born too late.
You think they were aliens?
He's like, blonde, blue eyes, giant hair. Awesome. Sick.
I read somewhere that the Romans they distinguished like they had like three races. It was like black people in Africa, Italians, and then like they just called them blonde, which were just like pale white people. So they were like
Yeah.
a different race to
It was like
them.
the like black people from like sub-Saharan Africa, and then like everybody else from like Persia to Spain was all one, and then these pale dudes. It was just those three.
That's weird because, like, to us Americans, it's all just the Chinese over there.
Yeah.
It's all one.
It's all one. It's weird
Yeah,
how like perspective
that's actually
group like that. It's like the idea of like, you know how olden times they didn't know the difference between blue and green. It's
Yeah.
all just blue.
Yeah, and if
It's all just Chinese, and then over now it's back where we're talking about. It's all just white people.
All just these. So
Yeah,
there's
the
actually
blonde
a theory that the word Cimbri, which is what the Romans called these people, is actually the name that these people had for a different group of people. Because the Romans are like, "Where are you from?" And they're like, "The Cimbri attacked us or something." And then the Romans were like, "Oh, you're a Cimbri?" And they're like, "No." It's a whole confusing mess.
Right.
right,
because-
that'd be like if you rolled into town and you just came from like the Shell station. You're like, and some guy's like, "Where are you from?" It's like, "Oh, I just came from the Shell station." And he's like,
"Oh, you're
"Oh,
Shell?"
you're from the Shell station. That's where you're born."
He's like, "Oh, your
No, I'm
name
from Hess.
is Shell? All right, Shell. Nice to meet you, sir." Like, it's kind of like that.
Imagine being raised at a Shell station though, like suckling a fucking giant soda like a teat.
Nice to meet you, Flying J.
I mean, you would see. I was gonna say something dirty.
You know, Travis has to make a plane.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Should
Mike,
stop
quick.
the show.
Mike,
I feel like you're the closest to being raised at a Shell station, to be honest.
I mean, I do live out of a 7-Eleven, basically.
Yeah.
But you know what? How was your week? Missed it?
Give us one.
I don't fuck with 7-Eleven, like the open taquito roller. I don't know who the fuck is like filling up those taquitos before. I'm like, yo, this shit's nasty. I thought it was COVID fucking times. Why am I able to grab shit?
Well, you can breathe on it too.
Yeah, this is like willy-willy. I could just fucking touch this shit. I see
You heard it
people
here
doing-
first. Mike is out on 7
No more taquitos.
Cheers, man.
Fuck.
To your health. And you're eating a salad too.
Damn it. I ate a salad today.
Listen, I'd love to get into this more, but
continue,
Travis
Connor.
got
I'm
this
sorry.
plane. All right.
All right.
Good for you.
Selfish Travis.
So
Jesus
again,
Christ.
this is all happening as the war with Jugurtha is going on. Marius is hold on. Yeah, so while all that's going on, these Cimbri are marching south. They're making their way through the Alps. In 107 BC, the Senate sends a small force north to deal with these guys because the Romans had no respect for people when they first started them. When they first started fighting a new group of people, they were always like, they're weak and shitty and we can beat them with a small army.
Right.
And
Doesn't turn out to be the case.
pattern always goes that first small army gets slaughtered. Then they got to send another one who does a little bit better, but probably loses. And then they just send more and more and more and more until they win.
Oh.
Yeah,
I
you
like
think
that.
they would just send more the first time.
You'd think that.
All at once. Why
They
not?
never learn their lesson for like thousands of years of history. They
Right.
never learned that lesson that we should just
Mike, you know
send
what
the
that
big
is?
one first.
well, I'm just
Tradition.
saying.
Art of War.
That's tradition.
Art of war.
It's a little bit
All right.
of both. It's
I'm just
traditional art
saying.
of war.
I'm just saying. Well, are you gonna jump right in the? Are you gonna cannonball right in the pool, or are you gonna stick your toes in? They don't give a shit about
There's-
these people.
They're sticking
Yeah.
their
Like they're
toes in.
soldiers, you know. Let's send off a small army. They'll all
That's
get
still
murdered.
your toes
It's
in.
crazy because it's like an existential threat, like this massive group that in ancient history they're always exaggerating the sizes of armies. They're always saying like it was 1 million men.
Yeah,
It's
right.
like it wasn't.
Yeah.
This is
Like-
one case where historians are like they probably weren't exaggerating. Like there probably were between 200 to 400,000 people
Take that,
in this
ACDC.
group. Because remember, it's not it's not an army. It's a whole nation. It's the
Holy
men, the
fuck.
women, the children, the elders, all of them.
Everyone's fighting.
Their livestock, everything that these
It's
people
on the
own,
move.
Oh.
all of them
But that's
moving south into
All right.
Italy.
that's a body count at best. You know those kids aren't fighting. They're lazy.
You never know.
Mm,
You see those kids.
these kids might be fighting.
Yeah?
The women
I mean,
are
y-
fighting.
The women
No,
are
I-
This is North German like pre-settled society shit. They are
You-
fighting.
Broomhilda
you're
up
j-
my ass.
Yeah, no. Little Jordan Harkinson. He has a club feet. That guy is not fucking fighting. He's sitting there. He's eating his scallop walking, and
You never know,
he's hobbling
Travis.
around.
These people might have sacrificed that guy to the gods already because
Oh,
these
okay.
people are ruthless.
Oh, okay.
They sound like
Man, I
savages.
sent him a Christmas card.
No, these are the types of people that like when they capture Roman officers, they like boil them in pots.
They sound like white people.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, they're
Really? Yeah, they sound really
they're
I
white.
say that
really
as
white.
half white.
Continue, Connor.
I will. Thank you, Mike. So they send us this small army up. They're all slaughtered to a man, including a consul. Rome is humiliated. In 105 BC, the Senate's like, all right, we'll send 2 armies this time. We're going to go big. We're going to send 80,000 men plus another 40,000 allies up north to deal with these guys. And we're going to send this army under the command of both consuls. This is very rare. Normally, they try and split them up. And for good reason, because these two consuls, Gnaeus Malleus Maximus and Quintus Servilius Capio, fucking hate each other. Like, really, truly detest one another, have no respect for each other, think the other one's out to get them. It's a nightmare. It'd be like telling Trump and Hillary that they have to work with a group of 100,000 people and lead them to something.
That I believe that because, you know, Hillary went to one of Trump's birthday parties. They're a lot friendlier.
They were best friends, and then they were on opposite sides of this power struggle.
Yeah, we could do better here. I think like an AOC Ted Cruz.
Oh, that's probably a better.
That's the thing about
actually,
that.
that's a much better one.
Yeah.
AOC and Ted Cruz are sent north to go fight the Cimbri.
Damn.
Right.
They hated each other so much that despite the fact that there was an army of maybe 100,000 fighting men in the hills nearby, they set up separate camps on opposite sides of a river. Mike, if you read The Art of War, it's never going to say split your army in two on opposite sides of a river.
It might say Art of the Deal, but that's a different.
Slightly different read.
Yeah, but that guy snores.
Yeah,
Gotta be over here.
I don't like him.
I do snore.
I don't like the fish sauce that he's got.
Yeah.
So-
They didn't build a little bridge.
No
little
bridge.
bridge to get
Nothing.
across?
They couldn't even talk to each other.
They just build separate camps on opposite sides of the river and probably just stared at each other like, what are you doing?
Fucking hate you.
And most of those soldiers are like, I don't know why they don't like each other.
Yeah, why the fuck are we over on this side? And they're over there partying. We're all
Right?
on this side.
Yeah.
This dude's all being all weird in his
Well,
tent.
at one point, right, what we're about to get to, the one side's going to look over and be like, well, shit. Because Capio, hoping to end the conflict before Maximus, he has no other reason to do this other than I want to win before that guy wins,
Right, glory.
hastily launches an attack against a fortified Cimbri position, is routed, all of his men slaughtered. And now Maximus, who no longer has the support of his fellow consul and army, is defeated a couple of days later and also slaughtered basically to a man.
Oh.
Very few survive, even fewer make it back to Rome.
Hmm.
And now the path to Rome is open. There is no army in Italy except for these 300,000 Cimbri. And for reasons we still don't even know today, they go west.
Well, how do they do that? Every
They
road
west.
leads to Rome. So even if they walk north, they're going to end up at Rome.
They didn't have Google Maps yet. They hadn't built the roads yet.
We'll call it England.
Well, I guess they were trying to prove a point, maybe. Or the other thing is that these Cimbris were
Stupid.
autistic
Yeah.
or
No,
something.
Well, they are
I
white.
think the Cimbris
Blonde.
were like Neil deGrasse Tyson. They were testing the theory. Like, if all roads lead to Rome,
Let's see if that's true.
Who knows what they're thinking?
The real best idea is that
Fishing?
they really didn't have a solid goal at all. They were just moving south because they needed to find better lands, and then they've ran into these armies that some historians say like they might not even have known what Rome
True.
was. They just saw these armies, slaughtered them, and were like, "That's weird."
Well, that's
So
true.
go this way.
They,
This
they
is
also,
fighting us.
you know, it's not like they didn't see anything. If they could imagine in their own silly brains that, like, if they kept going south, it would get worse.
That's
Right.
true.
That's
yeah.
true. That's
And
totally
also,
possible.
if we go with my theory of that they were blonde Chinese, that they didn't know how to drive.
maybe
Were they,
didn't have any
drive back
Lamborghinis.
then,
I'm
Tom?
kidding.
they had no Lamborghinis.
Yeah, true.
They
true.
didn't get
I'm-
paid off
I'm
by the
kidding.
girth man.
I'm kidding.
They're like-
There's plenty of good Chinese driver.
wait, these Italians have Lamborghinis. We drive Volvos.
So that kind of catches us up to where we are with Marius, the time frame wise, because all of a sudden these Cimbri, after slaughtering all these Romans, just disappear. They basically just show up, slaughter two armies, and vanish. And all of Rome is like, "What the fuck just happened?
Right.
What's going on?" Marius returns to Rome, a panicked Rome, hailed as a hero for finally ending the Jugurthine War. He was given a triumph, which is what all these Roman generals wanted, which is basically just a parade where everyone sucks your dick for a day, and you're
Damn.
like, you know,
He's
that guy.
king cock for a while.
he's a council. Why is it a day? He should be getting his dick sucked for a
Well,
week.
I mean,
So
why did Derek Jeter get a parade?
right.
He's good at baseball.
Why not?
So he's no longer consul at this point. He was his consulship had lapsed.
Oh,
and
right.
The year before this was when the two consuls went and got killed. But he's promptly elected consul again because everyone's so afraid of the Cimbri, and they're like, well, who's going to deal with the Cimbri? Maybe the guy that just ended
Yeah,
the
right.
Jugurthine War,
Yeah.
Marius.
So that's egg number 2.
Egg number 2, and also a shocking egg number 2, because not only did tradition normally hold that you wouldn't be consul twice or even 3 times. It was virtually unprecedented to ever hold the same office twice in the same 10-year span. And now he's consul for the second time in 3 years.
Damn.
No one in Rome gave a shit. They were like, please, this is like post 9/11 Rome, where they're like, we don't care,
Save us.
take away our freedoms,
Yeah.
save us.
Right. The Kimbrie's going by. They're like, oh my God. And what does he catch on? He waves his hand out the fucking car window, like, take that, Kimbrie. Don't come back.
Don't come back.
You know what'll happen to you.
Yeah.
We got more where that came from.
So here's the problem with Rome right now, aside from all the shit we've been talking about. They've run out of troops because, for the most part, up until this point, with very few exceptions, and this is probably the most influential part of Marius' whole life, is that Roman soldiers could only come from the landed class. So in order to become a soldier, you had to own land.
Oh.
Not even an officer. Just to join the military as like a baseline legionary, you had to own land.
That's
Oh,
dumb.
wow.
It's dumb now. It was smart back then because when all of Rome was like these small little farmsteads and tiny little things like that, you wanted to recruit from the people who had a vested interest
Yes,
in seeing Rome win. You
Right.
didn't want slave armies. You wanted people who wanted to win
Care,
because
yeah.
they would get rich.
I
Yeah.
understand. Yeah, no, I mean, you're right.
The only
it does
problem
sound
is Rome is now a burgeoning superpower, not a small city-state.
Right. And these little grape and horse boys, I mean, they're not cut from
Yeah.
the same cloth as, men that lifts a rock all day.
Exactly.
It's
That's so
facts.
true. And they just had like 250,000 Romans die in the last
Yeah.
like 30 years.
So the fucking kimchi's.
So the Senate is like, fuck it, you can recruit anyone you want.
What?
He's like,
They don't just
anyone?
wait-
Yeah, anyone? And he draws like a picture of Grimace.
Yeah.
It's like, how about this guy?
Can I recruit this guy?
Well, they should be real people. Let's
Yeah.
start there. But if you find the guy in the
If you
grimace
find
suit,
Grimace,
yeah, if he's in the grimace suit and he's ready to go, and he's a potato-based slave, go for it.
make him your legate. Why not?
Yeah.
So this is a big deal. This really fundamentally changes the Roman army from a group of people who are fighting for the state to a group of people who are fighting because that guy said he'll pay them. Marius is like, you join my army, you're going to get paid, and when you're done in my army, you're going to get land.
Ooh.
Damn.
I thought you were going to say, you're going to get laid.
Ooh, that
Probably too. That'd
probably a
come
lot
along.
of that also.
Yeah.
I'll suck that dick off of your body
Yeah.
as
That
soon
was-
as you get back here, boys.
That'd
You could
be
just
a lot of
pillage back
blowjobs.
Oh.
One console.
He's got a big mouth.
It would just be
He
like
does.
one, and then like next guy.
Yeah,
Sorry.
everyone's got to get warmed up for their finish right before they get to his mouth.
That's
Yep.
a good throat reflex.
Yeah.
Talent.
He's got a great
Art
mouth.
of war right there.
Art of war.
Art of War.
Suck your army off.
Sun Tzu, Art of War, Chapter 1. Learn how to suck dick.
Yeah. You gotta know your enemy.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
suck
you got
your
to
enemy
throw
off
your
too.
ally.
Yeah.
Throw your allies.
Everyone's getting throat.
So no one knows that the Cimbri have just disappeared. Everyone's waiting for them to show up outside the gates of Rome.
That's white people.
So Marius starts recruiting his men, and they're all fresh. They're all, green soldiers that have never fought before. So he completely overhauls what the Roman army looks like. There's no more baggage train. Everyone's got to carry all their materials and supplies on their back.
That's not good.
You can't, because you're hired and you don't have to go return to your farm to plant next year's harvest, you're training year round now.
What?
So this is where the change happens from like the peasant farmer class of fighters to a true legionary, professional soldiers fighting and training year round, loyalty directly to their general, and land grants upon retirement.
Oh,
So
wow.
these guys are fighting for money.
All right. So he made it worth it enough to them where they turned around that whole like vested interest. No, invest in the career.
Yeah. So now
Right.
you go from being like a farmer who wants to fight for Rome because you're Roman to I'm poor as fuck and I'm going to fight because this guy's going to make me rich.
Right.
He invented the community college.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or the United States military.
Yeah. That's
You
a-
too can leave
Or
after
the
getting your
United-
legs blown
Hey,
off with
Do you wanna
$30,000 in the
avoid-
bank.
Do you want to avoid $100,000 of student debt?
Yeah.
Let's go kill some kids in the Middle East.
Yeah,
Or
get
the
this
United States
exotic
Postal
land.
Service.
You travel to foreign land.
Let's travel
Cool.
to foreign land.
Listen,
Some
we-
exotic-
you know,
exotic
you have-
people.
We have friends who have done that.
I
Half
still,
worth it.
Yeah, a little PTSD. I'll sprinkle on top. You know, a little
I
bit
still
of that.
can't get over that one recruiter that was at the marching band. I think I mentioned on the show. He had this Hummer with like a system in it. He's like, "This is what our cars are like in Afghanistan. It's good. Do you hear 50 Cents playing? You're gonna hear it every day when you're in Afghanistan."
I was going to sign up, but I actually am not particular of his music.
If they
I
were
wanna
playing,
go.
if they were playing Cannibal Corpse, Tom would be in
Yeah,
Afghanistan.
down in there in a
That's right.
heartbeat.
Does
Or at
that
least Cascada. Give me
Wait.
some hope, damn it.
Wait, so you're telling me that H2 in hot red is good camouflage in the streets of Kabul?
Baghdad.
Well, I know if we're wearing hot red and then we're listening to Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Oh, no one's gonna shoot you. Then we just
What?
start dancing next to you.
Yeah, that's
That's
how
right.
you clear out the enemy. You just play it out with a loudspeaker. Oh,
California.
Art of War.
Art of War.
So-
you know what? The military is dumb. They should have hired us to run this shit. We would have been
We'll
in
be
and
the
out.
chiefs of staff.
Yeah.
We would have been in and out Afghanistan. Red Hot Chili Peppers everywhere. No bad vibes.
My-
You could be
Mike,
my dirty. You could be my dirty Bush, and I'll be your cock Cheney.
Thank you.
Yeah, Mike, I think
I
they
would
just
gladly
gotta
take that
strap a
position.
jetpack on your back and you could be a drone and drop
That'd be dope.
government taquitos, not 7-Eleven taquitos, because fuck those.
Exactly.
Untouched by other hands.
No
Yeah.
COVID for everyone because I care.
Thank you.
Mike would have stopped COVID.
Oh, we should continue because Travis has
Travis
to leave.
Yeah,
Travis is under the gun.
I think I have to get recruited to the Romans.
Yeah, I think Travis is going to the military later.
Yep, that's why he's leaving the episode. Possibly.
Yeah, no,
he, has
I'm
to go
actually-
hit, he has to hit the showers.
Yeah, I'm actually flying out. I got a publishing deal it's called Art of War, written by Mike Regan. I'm
That's a
ghostwriting
big
it.
deal.
Yeah, I'm
You might
ghostwriting.
have heard of it.
All right, Connor, continue before we
All
lose
right.
him.
Well, wait, no, Connor, I think you've done a fantastic job. Thank you for presenting. I'm gonna have to dip out so I can
Are
be
you
in.
serious, Travis?
Yeah,
got
I
a
gotta
plan
be.
to
Yo.
I gotta splat
The
out
three
my
of us can finish it.
Yeah, I gotta
I-
splat out my 7 eagle eggs. I'm getting in the fly eagle.
You can't tell them the weight.
Yeah, let me get on the phone with the good old JetBlue. You know?
All right, well, another weird episode for Roast Mortem. Travis, get out of here, man. I'll see you in a couple days.
I love you, Travis.
You're coming over here.
Yeah,
We'll
I'll
see you
be
soon,
over
buddy.
there soon. All right.
Safe travels.
Have a good rest of the show.
We will. Have a good flight.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, make sure you get a window seat. That's the best seat.
I'll wave to you. All right.
Wave
I'm
to
a-
us as you fly over.
Right. Okay, fuck
Travis.
Travis. Right, we're back now.
Oh my
All right.
god!
You know what,
I fucking hate Travis.
Connor, I want you to keep going, but before, in all seriousness, Travis is a great guy.
I love Travis.
But there's this thing about him, like whenever he's hanging out here, he's always picking his nose and wiping his boogers. Like
he's too fucking nice.
Yeah, he's too nice, but he's disgusting because he's always picking his nose
Yeah, that's really fucking gross.
and wiping it under the arms of chairs. Like I have had to, every time he sits down, I have to like wipe
You
the
gotta
side
wipe
of a
it
chair down. Yeah, just something real gross that guy does. But we love him.
You know what?
Booger picker.
You got to push through the difficult shit and really look for what shines in Travis. I
Yeah,
think.
because it's hard. On surface level, you'd be like, "This is a disgusting man." But
Well,
once you get to know him,
Yeah, he's like he's
He's
sexy.
Lovable.
yeah,
Damn,
he's-
this dude's sexy as fuck.
yeah.
I fucking hate Travis, but I'm really sad that he left us.
Yeah, so here's the second half of the episode. Connor, thank you very much for doing this research.
All
Thank
right.
you, Connor.
So we left off talking about Marius's reforms. His men are wearing all their gear on their own. They're nicknamed Marius's mules by the Roman people because
Oh.
they just see them marching around carrying all this shit like pack mules.
Okay.
So this all happened. Remember, he was elected consul in 104 BC to deal with the Cimbri, who showed up in 105 BC. And this is unprecedented. It's his second time being consul in 3 years.
Mm.
That's in 104. In 103, the Cimbri still haven't shown up again. But Marius is reelected consul.
Yeah.
Then he's reelected consul again in 102 and again in 101.
So they just keep balling him.
They're just like so existentially terrified of the Cimbri showing up before they've been dealt with that they don't want to risk having anyone but Marius in charge.
Oh, damn.
So they are like the Al Qaeda.
Yeah, the Cimbri are the Al Qaeda.
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
like they're
yeah.
keeping, like they're not really
Fear.
doing that much.
They're not
on
really
paper.
doing that much on paper, but the people are terrified and giving
Fear.
up all their freedoms, giving up all
Yeah.
their, like traditional norms and all this.
They're over there. The
And-
Kimberly.
All this time.
Those white people.
Yeah. And all this time, Marius is just training his soldiers. They're immensely loyal to him. They couldn't love this guy more.
Right.
They're like, this is our guy. He's leading us to wealth.
It's a good bag.
Shit. That's what
And
you want.
finally, in 101 BC, in the midst of his 5th consulship, his 4th in a row, the Cimbri reappear. Now they're not alone.
Uh-oh.
See, all this time they were in Spain and parts of Gaul, and now they're joined by the Teutones and the Ambrones tribes.
The Teutones.
It's very similar to Teutons. That's where the name comes from, for like the Teutonic knights of like the Crusades, the German knights.
Oh, okay.
Their name comes from this tribe, the Teutones.
I was thinking
really?
like a black and white cookie. 2 tones.
The Teutones,
Yeah.
the Teutone Malones.
Or 2 brothers named Tony.
Two Tonies.
Right. The 2 Tonys, and what was the other one? The Ambrosias?
The Ambrones.
Ambrones.
So like
Zambonis.
the Zambronis.
Mm,
Yeah, there we
hockey.
go. So we got the Kimchis, the Teutones, and the Ambers, the Ambrose, the
Oh.
Zambonis.
Can we take a weed break?
We just went to the
We just
bathroom.
took a break, Mike.
Then you want to take a weed break too?
I thought we could smoke while doing this.
Can we smoke while doing this? Is it illegal on the show?
Oh, a weed break?
I don't know. I mean, we did smoke in the past in the show.
Just smoked on the show.
Just turn the mic. You could have turned the mic away and hit it by the time you asked all these questions.
Attention seeker.
You sure are. Continue.
So Marius has now had 5 years of recruitment and training. He has picked out his spots where he thinks that they're going to return to, and he knows exactly where, like their path back to Italy.
Right.
So he sets up in Aix-en-Provence, which is in southern France. If you're familiar with southern France and you know like Marseille and Nice, it's in those areas. And this is the path that the Cimbri and Teutones are making back to Italy from Spain.
Okay.
I'll say that's a nice area.
It's a beautiful
I
area.
would just say that.
Lush countryside, right on the Mediterranean.
How did he know? Did he just have people stationed up?
Well, so because of the geography of the Alps,
Mm-hmm.
there's really only like 6 passes into Italy that they could take. So like this is the western pass, then there's a few in the north and 1 and 2 in the east. So he's like, they're in the west, they're going to come by here. At the worst, they're just going to come by and I'll know it.
Right.
Now, we're no longer dealing with just a nation on the move. We're dealing with 2. The Teutones are massive. The Ambrones are much smaller, but still pretty large. So just imagine somewhere between like 500,000 to 600,000 people making their way towards Rome.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's a lot of fucking
Huge,
people.
huge numbers.
Yeah.
So massive that they need to split into 2. Otherwise, they're just going to like drink the rivers dry and empty the countryside of food. So it's easier for them to split. So the idea is the Teutones will come in from the west. The Cimbri are going to go around the Alps and then come in through the east. And Marius is like, all right, I'm going to deal with the Teutones first. So Marius is in his camp, and a Roman camp is more like a fort. It's got a moat. It's got trenches that have spears sticking out.
Okay.
It's got walls. It's got palisades. It has watchtowers. It's a fortified position.
Where was this? Like massive. Where's this point?
This is in Aix-en-Provence. So like that's the name of the city that
Okay.
it's in. So it's like in a hill that he selected as like a good watch area for it.
Right.
And he's like, I know that they're going to have to come by me if they want to get into Rome.
The hills have guys moment.
The hills have guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The hills have like 80,000 guys with swords.
Yeah.
What kind of? I know you said like spears and swords before, but they didn't have like
No guns.
bow and arrows and shit like that.
Well, they had
No
archers,
archers
but the Romans were
no flaming arrows. That not them.
probably a little flaming arrows. There's actually a flaming arrows moment going to come up later.
Oh.
But at
Alright.
this point, it's mostly spears, shields, and swords.
What about cannons? Like they have like launch like giant rocks
No
or shit like
cannons.
that.
This is
No-
pre gunpowder.
No, I'm saying like yeah,
They would have had like
rocks?
trebuchets and
right?
catapults, but not
Catapult
here
rocks, that's what I meant,
because
yeah.
they know that they're not facing a city.
Nothing
That's
with
only if, like, a
actual
siege.
firepower.
I'm saying like the pulley ones. They had like the. Didn't they have like?
Oh,
Well, no,
yeah,
like
that's your
catapults and
trebuchets, yeah.
trebuchets,
Catapults,
but that's
yeah,
only
yeah.
for siege warfare if you're facing a city, not for something like this.
You're not really facing those out too much because the idea is like you want to face it towards a
like a
a
structure.
stationary
Yeah.
object and like kind of break down its walls.
not to kill
So-
people, I guess.
No, exactly. It's
Yeah.
not. It's not very good against crowds.
Oh, okay.
So while the Romans are in this fort, the Teutones start to march, and they're trying to goad the Romans into coming out because they've got way more men. They can overwhelm them with sheer size, and they're insulting the Romans. They're calling out for them to fight, calling them cowards, and
Pasta eaters.
yeah, pasta eaters,
Yeah.
fucking losers, all that shit.
Grape leaf peoples.
Exactly. These
Terrible.
grape leaf eaters are a bunch of pansies to these Northern Europeans, basically. And all of Marius' soldiers are like, we've been training for 4 years. Let's fucking go out there and kill these guys.
Yeah, stop blue balling us.
Marius is like, no, I'm going to keep blue balling you. I'm going to keep giving you handies, but not letting you finish.
We want our land,
Bastard.
though.
He's like, I
It's
want you to
killing me.
watch. I want you to watch these guys. I want you to learn how they ride horses. I want you to watch how they clean their swords. I want you to look at how they march. I want you to learn everything you can learn about these guys.
Art of War.
This is Art of War shit. This is true Art of War
Damn.
stuff.
Full circle now, baby.
So eventually the Teutones are like, well, these guys aren't going to fight us. Fuck them. Let them stay in their little hill. Let them stay in their little castle. We'll just leave them if they're just not going to do anything. And that's exactly what they do. As they start marching by, it's reported by some of the ancient historians that it takes 5 full days for this column to start marching away before the last one passes the fort.
Damn.
Wow.
All this time, they're still hurling insults at the Romans. The one that gets recorded the most is they keep asking the Roman soldiers, do you have any messages for your wives that we can pass along?
That's funny.
That's a good one.
That's
Yeah.
fun. Yeah,
Anything you want me to tell the missus?
yeah.
We're on our way.
Joke's on you. I fuck little boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what they
That's
were
what the
yelling
Romans
back.
are
My wife's a teenager. Fuck you.
She's 17 and I don't know what TikTok is.
I don't know her name. I know her last name. That's the important part.
I was friends with her father. He owed me something. Some bullshit like that.
So they're yelling all this at the Romans and they're feeling like the cock of the walk. They're like, we are going to walk into Italy. We're going to meet up with the Cimbri who are going the long way around. And then the 2 of us are going to destroy all of these Romans because they're too afraid to come out of their little fucking wooden
Yeah.
fort.
Watchers.
Once they all pass, Marius waits maybe a couple hours and then gives the order to break camp and follow. It's like, this is it.
Hmm.
He cautiously follows them as they're making their way. That small group of Ambronis that were with them, they get separated just because of the nature of like marching such a large group of people. And they're camped out by a river. And Marius' soldiers have been marching for like 2 days at this point, and they're thirsty, they're tired. They're like, Marius, we need to break. And he gestures to the river where they can see the Ambrones, and he says to them, if you want a drink, go and take it from those men there. And then so the Roman army sweeps in, slaughters 30,000 Ambrones like it was nothing.
I'm thirsty,
Is this-
motherfucker.
I have a feeling because we're dealing with 3 armies here. Is this going to turn into like a Goldilocks situation? Where like after he takes out these Ambronis, he'll be like, we're hungry. Well, you see those guys parked over by
They're
that
even
ham
bigger.
sandwich? Go take it from them. Go get that ham sandwich from
And
them.
they're like, that ham sandwich was too salty. I need
Yeah.
something sweet. Well,
Yeah.
there's a raspberry pie.
Yeah, right there.
It's kind of exactly how this all goes.
Stop it.
Because a couple of days later, he finds his ground of battle. He hides a force of 3,000 men in some nearby trees. The Teutones commit to battle. Marius springs his trap. And somewhere between 100,000 to 200,000 people are killed
Wow.
in the Battle of Aqua Sextiae. And the Teutones are basically genocided as a people.
Damn.
Really?
Because again, this is not just an army on the march. This is a whole people.
Right.
They're all slaughtered.
Jeez.
Men, the fighting men, the women, the children, the elders.
I guess they just
Right.
keep coming, right? They just keep coming.
They keep coming,
Yeah.
and then when they retreat, because that force that he'd hidden, they spring from behind. So now they're trapped. And a big part of these German tribes, and this is going back hundreds of years before this time, and it'll happen hundreds of years in the future from this. For whatever reason, the German tribes were fanatical when they fought, to the point that the women and children and old men and old women would go to the battlefield to cheer on the fighting men. And if things turned out poorly, they would either fight the men that were their own husbands that were retreating. They'd fight them into like going back to
Get back
continue the
in there.
war.
Love
Or
it.
they'd start killing their own children and themselves. And that's what starts happening here. Because they're like,
Well, I
oh,
guess
it's
you-
better to
yes.
die
Yeah, better
than
to
to be
die,
a Roman
yeah.
slave.
It's a
Jeez,
deal
yeah.
then. It's a BOGO.
Yeah.
We all see it at 7-Eleven. We've seen the 12-ounce cans of Pepsi. You buy one, get one free.
The 2-for-2 water bottle deal. That's the best one.
Unbelievable
What's the current
deal.
taquito deal, Mike? Touch 3, you
It's
can buy
two-
one for free.
It's $2. I think it's $2 for 3. But yeah, if you touch one, I guess you get it for free. $5 discount.
But these Romans are also sick in their heads. They're absolutely like they're fighting the men and they're watching the wives kill the kids. They're like, not the kids. We love kids.
Yeah, that's my future wife right there.
Yeah,
You're
come
like,
on. I need a cupbearer. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
We're not necrophiliacs. We
Yeah.
just like kids.
so
Like,
this battle,
Romans are gross.
this battle that turns into a slaughter is so complete and confined to such a small area that there are stories told for generations that the farms in this area are uncommonly fertile and bountiful
Oh,
because of all the dead bodies in the ground.
Jeez.
And also there are reports that the farmers use the bones of the Teutones to fence in their vineyards. So their
What?
fences of their vineyards were made with like the femurs and arm bones of these dead Teutones warriors.
I ain't robbing that place.
he got
Oh,
grapes
God.
the size of cantaloupes. He's making wine bottles
It's like
the size of 10 men.
50 years later, there are going to be Romans that are like, ooh, this is a Teutone vintage that has earthy tones and wonderful. It's like a bloody color.
Got some death to it.
Yeah, it tastes like a dead person. It tastes like thousands of dead people.
Probably pairs really nicely with that fish stuff Travis was talking about.
Oh,
Oh,
God,
yeah.
yeah, juice stuff.
Yeah.
Fish juice.
Yeah, now that he's not here, we don't have the name anymore.
Yeah. So this happens in
That's how the show works.
in 102 BC or the end of 102 BC, and the Cimbri are still out there. So the Cimbri had gone around. If you're familiar with geography, they'd gone north over the Alps
Kind of like
and
Russia? Is that Russia now, or is that...
way far away from Russia, Mike.
Oh.
No, think like France, and then instead of going from France right into Italy, they went like to Switzerland, to Germany, to Czech Republic, and then south into
Okay.
Italy. That was the Cimbri plan. Because the whole plan was, well, into Italy 2 different ways. We'll meet up in the middle, and then we'll go down south.
Ah.
Now, the token force that Marius had left behind gets defeated by the Cimbri or retires in short order. So Marius is rushing troops east, knowing that this big showdown, this final showdown with the Cimbri is coming. So they finally break through the Alps. They're waiting for the Teutones. So even though there's no army in their way, they're just waiting for their allies
Okay.
because they don't know that they've lost.
Oh, right.
Yeah, this is only like a month or two later, or a couple months later. They don't know that it's all over for the Teutones. So when Marius gets there with the Romans, they have a little parley. You know, they have like little peace talks before the battle. The Cimbri are kind of hurling insults like, no, like you're going to settle us. We've slaughtered Roman armies before. Give us this land and then you can be on your way and we won't pay you tribute. We'll just live here. And
Well, you're Roman. You can't not take tribute.
yeah, and I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. That's not how this works.
Yeah.
You got it wrong.
We got to pay for all these guys that you're
Yeah,
might not
these
kill.
guys need land. These men with swords.
Yeah. You're not getting this.
And so the Cimbri basically respond with, well, just fucking wait till the Teutones show up, and you guys are in trouble.
Hmm.
And when the Cimbrian diplomats say this, Marius just bursts out laughing. Like, true, like, belly laughter is like, this is the best joke he's ever heard.
Oh.
And then this is my favorite quote from Marius. He looks at the Cimbri diplomats and goes, "Don't trouble yourself about your brethren, for they have land, and they will have it forever, land which we have given them." To imply that,
That is funny. You know what would have been
their
funnier?
land is bones.
If they
now.
took that Teutonic, whoever was the head of the Teutonians, let's call him Teutony for simplicity, if he took him out of a box like Jeff Dunham
Oh,
and
that would
made
be
him
good.
like, yeah, that's right, we got plenty of land.
They did that.
Really?
They did? Oh, a little souvenir?
Because they kept Teutony, the king of the Teutones. They kept him alive, and they drag him out in chains after Marius did this. They're like, see?
Oh, that's good.
We told you. They've already been given it. The Cimbri storm off. They're furious. They show up the next day and just say, where and when, motherfucker, it's going down. That's how confident they are that they're going to beat these Romans.
Right.
Marius plans his battle perfectly, sets his army up on the top of a hill looking looking west. So when the sun rises, the sun is at his back. It blinds the Cimbri.
Great.
Nice.
And it's a repeat of the Battle of Aquae Sextiae. The Cimbri are slaughtered down to the last. All of them.
That's a lot of killing.
Really? That's a lot of Cimbri
All of them.
killed. Also, I don't know if that would have worked out that way if they had some pit vipers.
Facts.
If they had pit vipers, that sun wouldn't bother him at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would have bounced back to the Romans.
Romans be gonzo.
And we would not be... We'd be speaking whatever Cimbri language they got.
I don't know.
Instead of this weird Latin offshoot we have that's English.
How long did it take for the battle?
One day.
Just one day?
That's
Kill
it?
a whole fucking nation?
That's how ancient battles works. It's what's so scary about them.
So there's almost 250,000 people
It's probably like more like 100,000.
at this point. Yeah.
Just
Okay.
like that's like the low end, and it's ancient sources.
These
But still,
fucks didn't know how to count.
imagine the biggest stadium you've ever been in, filled to the brim,
Just killed.
and then every single one of them is killed by a blade.
That's
Not
that's
just
what
killed,
that's
by
gnarly.
like
Yeah,
an
it's hand
an
to hand.
edged weapon.
Yeah.
Damn.
This is Marius's peak. This is his apex. This is the greatest moment of his life because when he returns to Rome, He is the third founder of Rome. That is his name now. That's a sobriquet because of how truly immense this moment was when he saved the Roman people from the Cimbri. He's reelected for his 5th straight consulship.
Damn. On his way.
Those eggs are coming
Yeah,
in.
shit.
Something
So
wrong with them eggs.
We're repeating on
Now
him.
he's at 6.
Damn.
One shy of his 7. That's kind of his peak. He has this huge triumph. It's the biggest triumph Rome has ever had since the fall of Carthage. Everyone loves him. No one can say a bad word about him.
Got nothing.
But then he goes back to his political ways, where he has terrible instincts.
Right.
Where he
Doesn't-
double dips, kind of
Double
like playing
dips,
back
doesn't
and
really
forth.
know which way to go. And he gets the things he wanted. His soldiers get land grants. But one of the things he's trying to do is also give out the Italian allies Roman citizenship, because at this point, Italy wasn't fully unified under Rome.
Mm-hmm.
It was all controlled by Rome, but they didn't have the right it was like the 5 different levels of citizenship.
Right. Iffy paperwork.
Iffy paper.
Right. You got
Exactly.
different languages, different, the forms are all different.
Yeah, yeah.
So his 6th consulship ends, and then he enters a semi-retirement. This is 100 BC. He just goes and lives on his villa
Mm.
and just kind of lets things happen.
That sounds very nice.
But that's not where our story will end.
Oh, boy.
Because 10 years later, a pseudo-civil war breaks out called the Social War,
okay.
where this fight for Italian citizenship is going on. Now, Sulla, his old rival / henchman,
Yeah.
is the one who does the best in this social war. He's the one who gets all the fame.
Okay.
And the war basically ends after the Romans kind of finally are like, fine, you can enjoy the spoils of war, fellow Italians. We're all one here.
Yeah.
God, I hate Italians. They're so annoying.
They just keep fighting with each other,
I
too.
know.
And it's like, you're all Roman. Just deal
Get
with
it
it.
together.
Yeah.
Now, as this is going on, out in the east, this guy named Mithridates of Pontus, who is another fascinating character, loved poison.
Who doesn't?
Who doesn't love?
Who doesn't like a good poison?
Yeah.
Would you like a good poison, Mike?
Once in a while, I get a little poisoned.
Yeah. What's your favorite poison? Mine's
Pick your,
rat.
pick your poison.
You know what? There's so many to choose
Never
from.
mind. We're milking that one. Milk poison.
My,
Let's go with that.
I've taken so much poison, I forgot which poison is my favorite.
Yeah.
Remembering poison. Removes your remembering.
I would guess Mountain Dew is probably my worst poison I drank.
Yeah.
It's probably rotting the insides of my body out. But
That's true.
I'm glad.
This
You got
guy probably would
resistance.
have
I'm gonna die
loved
one
Mountain
day.
Dew.
Fuck it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been like sweet.
What's his name again?
Mithridates of Pontus. Now, Pontus is like northern Turkey now, so think like Black Sea.
Okay.
He conquers basically all the coastline of the Black Sea. He's taking advantage of the fact that Rome is fighting with its allies. And everyone's basically like, we know there's going to be a big war with the Mithridates king, and it's going to be wealthy because it's to the east. And that's where all the money is in Rome. You know,
Yeah.
like in America, it's like, go west, young man.
Yeah.
In Rome,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
go east, conquer some Persians, and make a boatload of cash.
They just stockpile it over there.
Yeah. That's where they got all the money.
Right.
So everyone's kind of jockeying for position. And this, by now, this is 12 years after Marius's like apex. So he's an old man.
Mhm.
And
How old is he now? He's like got to be
he's
like in his
Approaching
50s,
his
late
50s.
late.
50s?
No, he's in his like late 60s now.
late
Late
60s.
60s.
Okay.
Oh.
So he is old by like Roman standards.
Yeah,
He's, like,
yeah, yeah.
past his time. It's like, you're in retirement, old man. You stay there.
Right.
Remember, he wants that 7th consulship. Now, this is 88 BC that everyone's jockeying for because that's when the war with the social war is ending. And Marius did a couple of things in the social war, but he kind of played a backseat role the whole time. Sulla wins. No surprise to anyone. This is the guy who's on the up. He's on the rise while Marius is on the decline. It's Sulla's time to shine. He wins the elections of 88. He's given command of the army to invade Pontus, and he heads out. Now, during this election, Marius, as an old man, was like, well, why shouldn't I be consul? And everyone's like, because you're an old, washed-up hack. So
Is he all together though? He's still like together, right?
he's
It doesn't matter. You're in Rome. Those people are insane to begin with.
they're modern historians who think that he's starting to show signs of either dementia or Alzheimer's.
Oh, okay.
So no, he's not all together.
no, okay.
It's like, why don't they? I was elected in the year 104. It's 88. Why am I not younger?
I thought the years went backwards like that did.
How old
I'm
is
only
my wife?
30.
I'm as spry as I'll ever be. Let's go kill those Kimberleys.
Those Pontus.
It's like, you already killed the Kimberleys. Kill them again.
Find them again. I have their phone number.
So Marius is like, he's trying to prove that he can still do this to the point that he's going down to like the Forum in Rome and doing calisthenics.
Awesome.
Yeah, he's like
He's like the washed up superhero
He's like
of Rome.
Imagine like the oldest guy at the gym just like trying to rack like 225 to show that he's still got it.
Sad to see.
Yeah, that's what Marius is doing. He's going down and everyone just kind of, people go just to watch and like be like, wow, that's Marius now. Look at him. He's old and fat and trying to run up the stairs.
Washed up.
Fucking here.
Fucking washed up.
I thought this guy died.
Oh,
So-
God. It's like Corey Feldman.
Yeah.
Yeah, or something like that, yeah. Brendan Fraser,
It's
maybe.
no surprise when Sulla
Ah.
wins. Sulla goes off to leave to prepare his army and head east.
Okay.
Marius still isn't done. He's got one more ally, another tribune of the plebs, that pesky position that we keep talking about. Sculpicius, which is like a traitorous name if I've ever heard one.
Sculpicius, ugh.
He uses his power as tribune to remove Sulla as the commander of the armies in the east and appoint Marius, who is a private citizen holding no position in the Roman government, to be commander instead of Sulla. This is shocking.
That's
Basically to everybody.
It sounds misguided.
Was it rigged?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
It's rigged. I mean, it's not. It's blatantly just corrupt.
It's
not,
blatantly
it's beyond rigged.
Back to
corrupt,
his old
but
ways.
still, and this is like a thing with the Romans, it's still technically not illegal.
Right.
It's just so unprecedented that it's like, how could you do this?
Yeah.
So the bureaucrats are standing there scratching their heads like, they were not wrong.
It's like, yeah, this is a loophole we haven't closed, but
right.
It's
gotta
kind of
let it
shady.
happen.
Yeah,
Gotta
it's
let
shady.
it happen.
Yeah.
Or,
and because you know,
Politics, baby.
because they can't
Yeah.
just like call up Sulla and be like, hey, you're out, Marius is in, and Marius takes a little helicopter ride over. No. Sulla's on his way, completely unknown to him that he has just been replaced.
right. And he's going to find out in 4 weeks from now.
He gets to his army. He starts preparing them. He's like, all right, boys, we're going to go east. We're going to make a boatload of money. You all know that. They're all excited.
Damn.
And then all of a sudden, 2 little riders come riding over the hill. And they show up into the Sullan camp. And they say, Sulla, you're out. Marius is in. He's in command. Turn over your legions. Return to Rome.
Marius decided to walk here. He bought a new pair of New Balances and he wanted to try them out.
And he still hasn't made it past the walls of Rome, but he's going to be here eventually.
He's kicking and punching and he's ready to ride. And
Yeah.
oh my God, he's been eating a lot of hay because
Yeah.
he's a horse person.
He's got one of those chair seats that brings him up and down the stairs, and it's hard
Yeah.
to move it.
But
You gotta
when
see
he's
his
on level
calves.
ground, God, you
Ooh,
can't
he's
stop
quick.
him. Yeah.
He's quick.
He's got those stride like no other.
It's like that old people speed where they're
He's
like
fast walking.
very
Fast.
huge, big arm movement.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
walking.
I always remember this. Like anytime I see a robust, like older person watching, it was that Morgan Spurlock one. You know, the Supersize Me guy.
Yeah,
He did something about manliness. I watched some of the documentary and they had Jack LaLanne in it. He's like the old workout dude.
Oh, that guy. Yeah.
And this is like right before he dies, and Morgan Spurlock's talking to him like, like what about walking? Is that good for you? And Jack LaLanne is just like punching and doing like this star kick. He's like 80 years old. And he's just like, hey, you gotta do it like this though. You can't do no
regular walking. No regular walking.
It's like,
you gotta
where
do
does this guy
punch
go?
walks.
That's how I want to be. I want to be punching shit when I'm 80 years old.
Mike's gonna be a punch walker.
Never stop punching.
Punching holes in
If
the drywall.
If you stop punching, you're not gonna be able to punch. If you stop punching, you're not gonna be able to punch.
You got to keep repetition.
Yeah.
Focus.
So here's what Sulla does. Sulla, who's like a hardcore traditionalist, like firmly in the Optimate camp of the Roman factions, he bucks tradition for maybe the first time in his life.
All right.
He listens to these 2 men who say that he's out of command. He doesn't say anything. He goes out, gathers the army, and addresses the army and basically says, all that money that I promised you, you're all going to lose it because of these 2.
Oh.
You're all going to lose that money because I've been stripped of command by these 2. There are tyrants in Rome that are ruling us now. There are kings in
Damn.
Rome. Being called a king in Rome is like being called a communist in America in the 1950s.
Yeah.
It's like a death sentence.
Terrible.
So the Roman soldiers under Sulla's command promptly beat those 2 messengers to death. And Sulla announces to all of his soldiers, we're marching on Rome under arms.
Wow.
This is
Turnover, right?
This would be like if Douglas MacArthur after World War II was like, I am marching my army on Harry Truman in D.C. because they betrayed me.
This is amazing. Also,
This is huge.
Also, this is like don't shoot the messenger, but like whoever said that in that scenario, they're like, don't shoot the messenger. We don't know what shoot means.
I don't know what that means. I'm going to stab you.
Yeah.
Don't stab the
shoot
messenger.
is
It's like stabbing and punching.
I won't shoot you. I'll bludgeon you to death.
Well, we're going to shoot you. We'll figure out what shooting is for our time period. That's for sure.
We'll come back in a couple of years.
This is so unprecedented that every single one of Sulla's officers, with one exception, resigns immediately and is like, I want no part of this. You are insane. You are marching on Rome. You can't do that.
It's the
I'm out.
home. Yeah.
I'm out. They all leave except for one quaestor. I don't know who it was. So
Fuck
Sulla
him.
starts slowly, and he's still in Italy. He was in Italy, like gathering his troops, so he's still close by.
Right.
Sulla slowly starts marching on Rome. Panic breaks out again. Troops are running each way. Like some troops are abandoning Sulla for doing this. Some troops are abandoning Marius for doing this. There's senators in
Chaos.
Rome fleeing to Sulla. There's senators in Sulla's camp fleeing back to Rome. It's chaos. No one in Rome believes that Marius can hold out. All he can do is get a small band of gladiators together to fight for him. They all flee because they're like,
It's suicide.
this is suicide.
Yeah.
It's 5 legions of Roman army marching on us.
Yeah,
This is where
we have hard hats and
Yeah,
stuff.
we've
Like,
got.
that's
I got a.
going.
This one guy's got a net and a trident.
I
Like,
never. Yeah.
What's
Maybe
he
a
gonna
fisherman.
do?
We talked about that on one of the episodes a while ago. What a loser.
Yeah, it's like
what a loser
they're-
that Trident guy is.
They're not wearing any armor. They're just naked, but they got like a tiny little shield.
Shield.
But
Yeah.
gladiators were like, yeah, they could fight and they would kill people and all that shit. But like a soldier, someone who wasn't
Yeah.
for the public eye, that was a real murderer.
A gladiator could beat almost any soldier 1-on-1.
Yeah.
5 gladiators would get their shit rocked by 2 soldiers. It's like once it's teams, it's over. You know.
Yeah.
So Sulla, it's no contest. He captures Rome. Marius flees. He gets out of there. And then this is where his like escape. This is like this could be a story all on its own. Is Marius running away from Sulla. He's hiding in tiny little towns. At one point, him and his band of supporters get on 2 different boats. The boat that Marius is on wrecks and he swims to shore. He hides in the woods for 3 days. He gets on a different boat. That boat captain finds out it's Marius and is like, well, I don't want to get on Sulla's bad side because Marius now has a death sentence. Sulla, when he took Rome, just started killing Marius's supporters. And so this boat captain like puts in at a port and is like, Marius, you go get supplies and I'll wait here. And the second Marius is off the boat, he fucking leaves. Just abandons him.
Oof.
Marius is walking around. He gets into
Fall
a
of
tiny
grace.
little town. In this town, he's hiding in like the back of a villa. Troops show up looking for him. He runs out the back, but they know he's there. And they find him naked in a swamp, covered in mud, because he like crawled into a swamp up to his nose, so that only his eyes and his nose were above the
Really?
waterline.
That's awesome.
Remember, he's 70 years old.
That's some Saddam
Yeah.
Hussein meets like he thinks. You remember he's moving, he's doing the lifting, so he thinks he's like Arnold Schwarzenegger. He thinks he's Dutch.
He's like, I'm at the peak of my powers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just need to
I'm
hide from
nowhere.
these terrible people. I talk like Austrian, but trust me, a very Italian man.
Yeah. And they find him. They drag him out. So he's dragged through this town with a rope around his neck, naked and covered in mud. They put him in a little cell, but they're all like, "What do we can't kill this guy.
He was our hero
He's
back
our
in the day.
hero from 20 years ago.
I
How
grew
can
up
we
on
kill
this
this
dude.
guy?"
Yeah.
So they're
this
like,
guy.
all right,
Yeah.
here's what we'll do. Get that slave, that Cimbri slave, because there were a few Cimbri that lived. They all became slaves. Get
Yeah,
that Cimbri slave who
They
was a
shaved
former
their
warrior,
dreadlocks off.
and have him go kill Marius, because he'll have a good reason to kill Marius. They slaughtered all his people.
Yeah.
I like their reasoning. I like
Yeah.
this guy to do it.
So they order the slave.
Won't feel
Slave
so
takes
bad.
a sword and he walks in. And this is a famous event in Plutarch and Suetonius where the slave walks in and the report is that Marius stares at the man in this darkened room and flames are shooting out of his eyes and sparks are shooting out of his eyes.
Like he's the
And
devil
he's like,
or something.
He's like, "Have you come to kill me?" And the slave drops the sword and runs out of the room and goes, "I can't kill Caius Marius," and flees the town. And it's like, how can you expect me to do this?
Is this what Usual Suspects is based on with Kaiser Soze?
Maybe.
Yo, life was
What is
sick back in the day.
Yeah, right?
Because
Fuck.
he just stared this guy down and was like, "You're not gonna fucking kill me." And the guy's like, "Yep, you're right. You're right. I'll see you later." And
Jesus
like,
Tuesday.
Christ.
So the
Some
townspeople
shit.
are like, well, none of us have the courage to kill him. Let him go. And so they let him go.
Just keep him in there.
No,
He'll die.
they're all too afraid. They're like, we can't do that. Just let
Honestly, if I saw some shit like that, I'd be like, yo, go.
him go. So they let him go. He flees to North Africa.
Flames coming out of
And
his
everyone
eyes.
thinks it's over. All right, he's in North Africa. He can't cause problems there. Sulla is like taking power in Rome. He's like, all right.
Is it
these
Girth's
two-
house or some shit? Where's he at?
He's on an island off the coast of Girth's house.
Jeez.
So when Sulla finally is like, whatever, fuck Marius, he's gone. Don't worry about him. He holds new elections. He doesn't run for consul because he still wants to show that he's like, I'm a true traditionalist. I can't be consul back to back, but I can keep my command in the east.
Right.
So that's what he
Because
does.
there's a conflict happening. Right.
So he has those two consuls elected, and then he goes east to go fight Mithridates. Not 10 minutes after he's gone, those two consuls are at each other's throats, and one of them flees the city and is calling for Marius's help.
What a bitch.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Marius, this is 87 BC now. Marius rallies his veterans in North Africa, lands in Italy, and raises a massive army and takes back Rome, where they just start slaughtering anyone that supported Sulla. So when Sulla first took Rome, he killed maybe a couple hundred people that supported Marius.
Right.
Now they're killing thousands.
It was like a courtesy murder.
It was courtesy.
Like-
it was like, we definitely
you.
know you did this. You're dead.
Just kill me.
Now Marius is killing everyone.
I like that.
Right.
They should have those more.
He's-
You like that? More people dying.
Just kill me. Let's just get it over with.
Well, here's
This
what,
is pre
here's one for you then,
overpopulation,
Mike.
Mike.
He's killing so many people that they don't even know who they should be killing anymore. So at one point, and again, he might be suffering from dementia or Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
Who would I
He's
kill
walking through the
yesterday?
forum. A guy sees Marius, not a Sullan supporter, one of Marius' supporters, sees Marius and salutes him, because like that's the thing to do. Marius either doesn't notice or doesn't acknowledge this guy. So immediately his bodyguards are like, all right, and just cut that guy's head off. Just because Marius didn't wave back to him. Imagine that. Imagine
That's
you just
protocol?
like you wave at a guy and you're like, hey, and he doesn't hear you, so then his bodyguards cut your head off.
All right. So as weird as that is, like it's kind of sad and everything, but at the same time, you got to think of how many podcasts are out there right now, and how fewer podcasts there would be if that was the kind of guy who was running the show around here.
There'd be no podcast.
No podcasts.
Maybe two.
Definitely.
No,
us.
no Irish goodbyes. I'll tell you that, man.
Well, everyone's
You better
yes.
say goodbye to me or hi to me.
You're giving me 3 bonjours. and
I got kissed on the cheek
Yeah, a
on
couple
both sides,
kisses.
please.
You take out.
So Rome is in panic. People are dying.
I had a drink. Sorry.
And the elections for 86 BC are being held. And guess who wins the consulship?
The egg.
The Eggman does
Oh, 7
it.
times?
7 for 7. Gaius Marius
But was it worth it?
is
It was good.
elected consul for the 7th time
Right.
in 86 BC. Mike, you just asked, is it worth it?
I'm trying to
There's-
play Villa, bro.
You
My
asked me-
16-year-old or some shit, bro. What the fuck?
You're asking me, is it worth it? I
Yeah.
want you to ask me one more question.
Oh, Mike.
How does this guy... how's this gentleman die?
17 days after getting his 7th consulship that he sought all his life, he drops dead, and no one really knows why.
What?
Ancient Rome, man.
Poison?
Ancient Rome.
Poison?
Most likely either pneumonia or, like I said, Alzheimer's.
Old people shit.
Old people shit.
Old people. Well, you know.
Everyone dies, I say.
A bunch of ancient
Happens,
historians
yeah.
are like, this is the most anticlimactic death in all of history.
God, he took over Rome 7 times. What an influence this guy had.
Becomes consul 7 times, finally gets it. 2 weeks later, dead.
He 7 times, baby.
You know what that
else did
means? You know what that means, though. One of those eagles were retarded.
Yeah.
it?
One of those eagles didn't make
Last
it.
two.
He probably
Way
he
out.
stepped on the 7th eagle as he discovered them. He's like, there were 7.
There's 7.
Now there's only 6.
I
But there
brought it.
were 7.
Where's 7?
Stay here. I have another pair of sandals in the truck.
Mm-hmm.
Keep this one around for good measure. Let's go
Yeah.
back to the seer.
So, with Marius dead, the civil war is basically a foregone conclusion. Sulla wraps up his war in the east, comes back to Rome, has himself declared dictator after defeating the Marian faction, kills about 5,000 people in prescriptions. One person who escaped his prescriptions is a young Julius Caesar,
Oh, really?
the nephew of Marius's wife.
Oh, yeah, you said
Right.
that before, yeah.
Remember? And Sulla wanted to kill Caesar. Sulla was like, that guy, he should die.
He's a threat.
He's a threat.
Well, he's close. Yeah, very close to the throne there.
And it's rumored that he's talked out of it by his supporters and advisors. They're like, don't kill Caesar. It's not worth it. And he goes, okay, but you be warned. There's many a Marius in that man there.
Oh.
And that's Marius's legacy. Is he changed the Roman legionaries, and he was a big inspiration to one Julius Caesar. Oh, one more thing about his death. So after he's dead, Sulla retakes Rome a couple of years after he died. Sulla is still so pissed at Marius that he orders his bones and ashes taken away from the temple that they were stored in and thrown into the Tiber River to scatter to the winds.
Fuck him.
That's kind of cool.
He like basically puts his bones
some people
on
pay
trial.
good money for that.
He's like,
now.
fuck this
Yeah.
guy completely. His memory is damned.
I might not be able to try him, but I'll try his bones.
Yeah. So
Spooky.
despite being consul 7 times, being hailed as the 3rd founder of Rome, his memory was disgraced until Julius Caesar began to rehabilitate it.
Gas him up.
Caesar was like, hey, we're not allowed to have statues of Marius. Overnight, Caesar puts them all back up.
Right.
We're not allowed to commemorate Marius. Caesar the next day is like, I'm going to commemorate Marius all we can.
Okay, so Rome does a quick little stint on getting out of the shadow and then comes right back in. Basically, the legacy is not that affected, it seems like.
No.
Look, Connor,
That was great.
I'm going to say a couple things right now. Some of them might be controversial.
Bring him.
Firstly, Travis is a gross person to be around, so I'm kind of glad he left.
I really feel uncomfortable around him.
Yeah.
And like I'd really appreciate it if he would get on planes more often.
Even though this was all on Zoom, it smelled better when he left.
Yes.
Right, exactly. So that. Secondly, when I said you're a research artist, I'm glad that you made sure I wasn't lying. Because that was
Very
a great
good.
script.
Yeah,
that
it
was
was
extremely
better than
thorough.
I ever
Wolf
did.
throw skipped some things that I would have included, but for time I kept them out.
Trust me, this show, probably about a third of the episodes we've done have had terrible research behind
I
them.
fully understand that, Connor, what you just told us.
Yeah. We were not
You know all
confused.
about Gaius Marius.
Yes.
Yeah, Gaius Marius. What a guy. So, what a Gaius.
What a
Come on,
Gaius.
it was right
Girth.
there.
Yeah. I learned about a new person today, Girth.
Girthy is a
It's a new
Girthy is a cool
person
dude.
to know.
Girthy, if there were more histories about him, he'd be one to put on the slab.
Yeah. So look, I got an idea. Why don't we call Travis while he's on the road
let's
right
call
now?
this Flyboy.
Right. Okay, so let's call him Zwick. Cut here. I'm going to get him on the line, and we're going to keep this dirty track.
He's in a jet right now.
He's in a jet.
He's in a private jet.
Hola, buenos noches.
Hello, is this Travis Legion of the old Roast Mortem cast?
I'm going to my friend Jettison Bluethans.
Oh, that's good. Well, this is your friend Tom from Roast Mortem, but mostly co-host before friend.
Oh yeah, it's been a long time, Tom. We should catch up sometime over a cup of caffeinated beverage.
I'm very excited to see you. I want to punch you in with Connor real quick so he can just wrap up the episode in like 10 seconds. What happens to Gaius?
All right, real quickly,
Tell me about
Gaius
this boy.
does all the shit that he set out to do. Becomes consul of Rome 7 times. Faces his rival Luigi. His rival Luigi kicks his fucking ass, and then he dies of pneummonia, a sad old man. Done.
Wait, so he got all 7 of the eggs in it?
He got
Yeah, Travis.
all 7 eggs.
7 eggs.
Miracles do come
shit.
true, Travis.
Well, I always like Luigi better. I mean, he's a vacuum boy and he collects ghosts for a living, so
He
all's
did,
well that ends well, right?
that's true. He did die 17 days after getting the 7th egg, so
Yeah.
we were thinking maybe he stepped on the 7th chick.
They don't call them hard-boiled eagles for nothing.
That's true.
All right, well,
I hope it was a good rest of the episode. I'm about to be on flying engines.
all right, man, we'll have fun.
Safe travels,
We'll
Trav.
see you tomorrow. And,
Yeah.
I got to say, Connor did such a good job. I don't think I'm going to be writing scripts anymore.
Yeah, me either, I don't think.
Yeah, why not? Connor, you can write mine too.
All right, $2,000 a script.
All right,
That's
that's coming
all.
in. You hear that?
That's
That's
it.
for the Patreon. All right, see you later, Travis.
Bye, Travis.
Later,
Bye.
You
bye.
selfish mother.
All right, and that's it. That's the end of the episode. Connor, in all seriousness, great job with that. I learned a lot.
Thank you.
Engaging, and it all made enlightening. And,
That's what I'm here for.
and good to follow. Easy to follow.
Yeah.
Mike, thank you for being here. Thank you for explaining
you know
the art
what?
of war to me.
I'm glad to help everyone out.
It's
Yeah.
good to know what the art of war is all about.
Exactly. Shout out to Travis. We know he's going to travel safe because pretty much the percentages of people who die on airplanes, even though we're from New York, we can say is like 0. It's a non-existent number.
None of the planes took off from New York.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
And what's the other thing? Oh, yeah, thanks to me
Well, Tom, how's
for
your week?
recording this. Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I couldn't
End
forget
of the
Thank
episode,
you, Mike.
Tom.
Come
How
on,
was your
Tom.
week?
I had a lot of... I'll be honest. I'll end the episode on a sad note.
Uh-oh,
Actually,
Debbie
I'm
Downer
I'm
over
just
here.
kidding.
Debbie Downer.
No, well, I did have a lot of sad things happen.
Well,
this week.
let's vent it out. A little Dr. Phil.
I'm not going to do that. What I'm
Oh.
going to do is I'm going to say I had a big hamburger sandwich earlier tonight. And man, did it fill all the lonely spots in my heart.
Nice.
Wait, hamburger or cheeseburger?
Okay, check this out. This is
Oh.
fun.
That's usually a very easy answer. I'm
Well,
excited
yeah.
to see what he's got.
Now, what I had tonight was called a shisturu. Now, that would translate to the average person as cheese everything.
Yeah.
Cheese toro?
Tudu.
Tudu.
Like Toto. In Spanish, Toto. Toto papi. Everything
Hey.
costs.
So everything cheese.
But it's Portuguese. Right. Similar. Doesn't
Backwards.
matter. So in Brazil, they have it all backwards. What they call them is, it's not cheeseburger, it's
Hamburguesa.
cheeseburger, right? But the cheese,
her burger.
the cheese is actually, it's not cheese, which is Keiju. What it is that somewhere along the line, the cheese is turned into a she's, which is the X in the alphabet.
Oh, okay.
So
So
get a
it's
cheeseburger there, you'd
X-burger?
have to say cheeseburger com queijo. Now, cheese tutu is a cheeseburger, but with everything on it. Now, it's a giant sandwich. It could feed families
Make me
for
hungry right
weeks.
now,
Yeah,
Tom.
it was a good one. Ham, cheese, eggs, bacon, a burger, a lettuce, the potato sticks.
I love how like 3 of the first 4 things you listed is like an additional meat to go on
Oh,
the burger.
Yeah, man.
Unbelievable.
I'm fucking starving now.
Yeah, so that was my evening before I got here. I like this. How was your week at the end of the
Yeah, a
episode?
little
The dynamics
more,
feel different.
Yeah.
It feels like walking off a diving board backwards.
Well, now
Fresh.
Mike has had a whole 2 hours to think about how his week went.
Right, exactly. So how was your week? I just described a sandwich. Do you need more time? Connor, how was your
Time
week?
to describe your sandwich that you had this week.
How was your week? I want to wrap up the show. So
My
seriously.
week was good. It was
Good.
actually very good. Lizzie and I went to Massachusetts with my family. I caught a fish,
What kind?
Oh, nice.
striped bass.
Cool.
My sister caught a bigger fish,
That's
also
not
a
good.
striped bass.
No, you got to show her up next time.
Lizzie and I, hung out, smoked a lot of weed on the beach. It was wonderful.
All right. Well, is it? It's legal there,
It's
man.
legal.
Yeah,
there.
Massachusetts is
It was
very
wonderful.
friendly with it.
Perfectly legal Massachusetts
Perfectly
weekend.
legal
Yeah.
Massachusetts.
Love that. Mike, now back to you. Tell us the
Well,
hot story.
I had that outburst early in the episode about taquitos and people having their
right.
like that terrible 7-Eleven. Call me. I'll fix that for you. And I had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich from there. Now that's probably the most exciting.
You're
Was
gonna take my sandwich thunder?
Yeah, you said something about a sandwich. All right, this is relatable.
Okay.
And I hope
This is
every
relatable.
7-Eleven call me. I don't know.
All right. Every 7-Eleven, call Mike.
Don't,
or else he'll
what?
never come back.
Yeah,
His
no
number-
one's using the tongs. Are you kidding me? You giving me tongs to use? The homeless dude ain't using tongs.
All right. Well, listen, if you're 7-Eleven or anyone else who listens to the show and you want to leave a voicemail, call 631-837-3274.
I need to go to a Wawa. I've never been to one of those.
I think the nearest Wawa is like 6 states away. So no.
Pennsylvania.
Wawa's close.
Pennsylvania.
Wawa's
They're
close.
not that far.
I was thinking HEBs.
We're on Long Island. We have sandwiches. It doesn't matter. That's all we talk about, apparently.
have
But
delis, I forgot.
yeah, give that number a call if you want. Patreon.com/roastmortemcast.
Still haven't gotten a hat.
So we're doing a movie night thing. It went over really well. We had an Oliver Reed stream, The Devils. We watched that one. You
How'd
can't
it
even
go?
find that streaming, but I made it happen with allegedly a Korean copy of the DVD that
Oh.
is not supposed to be here.
It's like it's like the Region 3 DVD.
Honestly, it was great, but truly one of the best alligator sword fights I've ever seen in my life. Join us. We're going to be doing maybe by the time this comes out, we're doing The Mummy. We have to do The Mummy. based on this show.
Oh, it's Travis
We
gonna
have
be
to
here.
do
We
the
have to see
mummy.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll be doing that. They're taking a poll with the Patreon, see when they want to do that. Then we'll be,
Ooh.
we're definitely doing that every month. That's a new thing we're going to do for our community. We like you folks. We want to deliver more things at patreon.com/roastmortemcast. I wish Travis was here because he usually makes this different.
You know what? I don't need you, Trav.
Joke, punchline.
A thing.
You guys like Wendy's?
It's good.
Love
That's
Wendy's.
a good.
Nah, I was just saying I had Wendy's. Spicy
that?
nuggets give me terrible diarrhea.
All right, thank you, Shane. That's it. Thank you. Thank you for listening, everyone.
Hey,
Connor,
thank you,
thanks
Shane.
again.
Can I get a hat?
Bye,
Tom?
everyone.
Yeah. Well,
I keep every episode. Connor, you have to get one of these hats. It's a dang Shane on the top left.
Dang
corner.
he Shane.
Dang he Shane.
you're never getting a hat.